Hi y'all, good morning on what would be a comfortable morning out here, except for the fact the wind's blowing and making it a little chilly, but the sun's getting ready to come up over yonder there. And we're gonna try to catch some fish today, y'all. We're doing a combination trip, shallow water fishing. We're going after some catfish with cut bait, and we're also gonna go after some carp and buffalo at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get us baited up. We're gonna kick back, relax for a few hours, and hopefully reel in some big fish today, y'all. So come with me, get you snacks. Get ready, let's do this, y'all. We're gonna get baited up right now and get after it. No time to waste. No time like the present, as the old saying goes. I apologize if I sound a little nasally today. I'm still coming off an illness, although I feel much better today. Today's the best day I've felt in about a week and a half now, so I'm feeling much more optimistic that the worst is behind me on whatever the hell I've caught. But I may still sound a little messed up. But here's what we're going to do first. I'm going to go ahead and get our carp rods baited. We're going to use pack bait, which is panko cream style corn, panko breadcrumbs, cream style corn. I've got some strawberry jello mixed in today. And then we're going to put some red worms here, fat and juicy. That's better than regular red worms. The fat and juicy ones are the real deal. We're going to put one of those on the hook, along with, in this one we've got a single, I think I lost a piece of corn on the last trip there, but we've got one piece of plastic fake corn there on a hair rig, and we will put this red worm on the hook, and we're going to cast it out there. This pack bait will fall off the feeder and make a chum pile basically around that worm there, and any fish swimming along through this creek. We're fishing super shallow today, which is a shallow creek anyway. It is much shallower now. I don't know if you can see over there on the other side, but the water level has dropped pretty significantly. It's down somewhere between 1 and 2 feet right now. We're going through winter drawdown here in East Tennessee, so they're in the process of lowering us down here for the next few months. They usually start here, normally mid-November, drop us down. We'll be completely down by December, and then it'll stay down until about May. And it's the good and the bad. The good thing is that it opens up a lot of bank fishing opportunities. When the water level drops, places that you couldn't normally access from the bank. That's good. But the bad thing is a lot of ramps, boat ramps, become inaccessible. And a lot of creeks like this one here that we've done really well in, catching carp and buffalo and catfish and everything else in, well, they get drained all the water out of them. So it's kind of take the good with the bad, folks. It also seems like, too, when you first go through the water drop, it messes up the bite a little bit until things stabilize. And I don't know, back in here today, I don't really honestly know what to expect. So we're just going to throw some baits out and see what happens. I fished this creek prior to me going to South Carolina. I fished it 2 days in a row. One day was lights out. Caught a bunch of fish. Next day, couldn't hardly buy a bite. So it's just kind of hit or miss, and we'll see what happens. But here again, this is the carp rigs we're using. I've talked about these a million times on carp videos, but they're just a wire coil feeder. I get them on Amazon. They're cheap. I tie a piece of 50-pound braid in the slot there and put 2 swivels on each end. That way it can't travel very far up your line. Wherever it lands in the water, it's going to be close to your hooked bait. This one here, that one had the pink fake corn, that one the yellow. This one here is just a plain hook on this one. So we're just going to put a worm on it. I got to tie up some more carp rigs. That's on my winter to-do list. I should have done that while I've been all sickly the last week or so, but Didn't even think about it, honestly. Tying up carp rigs ain't something you really think about until you get on the water carp fishing. You're like, well, you know what? I need some more daggone rigs. I'll tell you this, folks, man, it feels good to feel good, because I woke up today and I'm like, man, I'm a new man. So we're going to have some fun today if we can catch some fish. And if we don't catch fish, we're still going to have some fun, because once this wind dies down, and it's supposed to about mid-morning, according to the weather forecast, it's going to be significantly more comfortable out here, temperature-wise. Throw that one over that way. We're just going to fan cast these things out. I ain't making long casts because, well, there ain't as much water in the creek now as there used to be. I can't go back as far close to the shore here either to anchor us down, even because of the depth. My motor was dragging bottom, just getting here. Now out there where we've cast our baits is the old original creek channel, so it's slightly deeper, but I'd be willing to bet it's probably no more than 2 feet deep right now, maybe. So I don't know if we'll get anything back here or not, but if we do, we're in for a damn good time fishing this shallow of water. Now, we got our carp baits out. Yesterday, I did a little ultralight trip, and I caught a perch. And I said, you know what? I don't ever get perch. I'm going to keep that thing. And we'll use him. If I ended up fishing today, if I felt like it, we'll just use this thing. And you know what? I woke up this morning, I felt like it. So we're going to use him. I'm going to cut the head off. Don't want to use a head or a chunk. Let's use a head first. Let's do it. Let's use a head bait first. Oh, hell, I can't open that damn cooler. I'm in bad shape, y'all. Yeah, let's get this on here. Y'all see if you can't catch you a catfish today while we're back here in this shallow water. We're so shallow back here, I don't know if anything will happen or not. But there's a good chance right now, this time of year, you know, we're into November now. These catfish, with the water temperature dropping, there's a good chance they're going to be back in the shallows a lot more right now than what they normally would be. Let's cut that off too. There we go. So this here is just a Carolina rig. Carolina rig. 4-ounce egg sinker, 10-aught size hook. I've apparently got the rod, the line wrapped all around the rod. Okay. Throw it out over that way. We may get turtled on that bait. I'm gonna put the clicker on it. That way we'll have a little extra fun with it today. There we go. Now let's see if we can open this damn lid. There we go. Okay. Set that back behind us. Notice, y'all, take a look. The kayak is clean. It ain't been this clean in ages. I did wash it the other day. I'm feeling quite proud of myself. I forgot what this thing looked like because it's been so dirty. It's been basically mud and mold green for about 2 years now, it seems like. I cleaned it up real good. I'm getting ready to put this thing on the market to sell it here soon. I'm actually planning tomorrow, assuming I still feel good, and based on how I feel this morning, I think I should continue to just improve illness-wise, but I'm planning tomorrow to go get the new kayak, the Bonafide XTR 130. I'm gonna leave real early in the morning and drive up to Raccoon Creek Outfitters. They're gonna do my wiring for the new motor, do all that, and then I'm gonna bring it back home start working on getting rod holders mounted, figure out where I want to put stuff, all that. Probably won't start fishing out of it until probably December. We got something right here. Oh, buddy, right here. We're hooked up already. How fast is that? Where we at? We're 10 minutes into the video. We got a fish. It ain't gonna be what we want. I bet it's a channel cat. It's something. It's small, whatever it is. Yeah, old channel cat. Golly bum. I don't know if it's, you catch a fish that fast, is it good luck? Maybe. But anytime you catch a channel cat, I feel like it's kind of bad luck. So I don't know what to think about this situation. Oh, look at this one's mouth though. Hold on, let me get this hook out. I'm gonna show you. If you'd open up fish, that hook would be already out. Open up. I want to show off your weird mouth, fish. Open up. There. Give me a corn back too, fish. Thank you. Thank you, sir. He's missing an eyeball over there too. Look at that yellow on his mouth right there. I mean, he's got some yellow down his back too, but it's really pronounced right there by his mouth. This side, not so much. Get out of here, you old bait stealer. You old thing. We don't need no channel cats back here today, folks. We need some big blue cats. We need some carp. We need some, hopefully some buffalo. That's what I want today, some buffalo. The last 2 times out here, now it's been a couple weeks since I've been here, but the last, both days I fished here before I went to South Carolina, I caught buffalo. And I'm not a carp and buffalo expert by any stretch, so I don't know their typical seasonal movements. Like, I don't know. I know in the spring they're up in the shallows, spawning and whatnot, but in the fall, do they move shallow too, like catfish do, to kind of feed up? There's obviously some carp and buffalo in the shallows year-round. So I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions. That's why we're just kind of, if you don't know either, I guess we're kind of learning together. I guess we'll know if we get something back here today. With water dropping, it's obviously more noticeable for fish that are living in the shallows or moving into the shallows. I don't know how that'll affect things. All right. Got that back out. Got our first fish, even though he don't count. I don't count no damn channel cats. We gotta set these power poles, man. These things. We're on apparently a rocky bottom out here where we're at. They keep wanting to pop free every time I shift my weight. Oh hell, we got a bass fisherman coming down through here. I hope he don't come all the way back. There's a bass, when I launched my kayak today, I put in at a boat ramp upriver from here, and there was apparently a tournament going on because there was more trucks and trailers there than I've ever seen in that parking lot, so there must be some kind of bass tournament. I'm filming this on a Saturday. Normally, you come out on a weekend in the fall, you don't see anybody. Especially if you're coming all the way back in one of these creeks like this, but these bass fishermen, they work up in these shallows too this time of year, because you'll oftentimes see bass back here busting shad in backwater creek areas. See that all the time, but you more so see it in the fall. I think all these fish, all species, just kind of move up, really hit them shallows, feeding hard in the fall to feed up for winter, pack on some weight. But nevertheless, we got one coming here. Okay, he's coming. He's going to cross the channel now. Maybe he's going to circle out. We could be so lucky. Even though I'm feeling better, I still ain't feeling like human interaction. don't need any of that today. But yeah, anyway, folks, my plan is to go tomorrow, pick up that kayak. I'm going to bring it back home, just work on getting it rigged up over the next week or so. Rod holders, figure out where I want to put my graph, how I want to position the seat to be able to fish off the front and the back, and do all that. And then when I get my trailer, which I mentioned there on the last video filmed yesterday, I'd got an update on it. The trailer is done. It was supposed to be painted a couple days ago. Basically just waiting on shipping at this point. And the fella had told me he'd hoped to get it to me by the end of November, but you know, I've got this trip planned to the Keys the last week of November. So I'm obviously not going to be home to accept delivery. So I'm imagining it's probably going to be sometime in December before I get that trailer. But I'd like to wait on fishing out of the new kayak until I get that trailer, because it's so damn heavy. What I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to take the truck and I'm just going to use my bed extender and haul it in the back of the truck to get it home. But as far as like taking it actually on the water fishing, I'd like to have that trailer rigged up for it, because I don't want to be dragging that thing around as heavy as it is. I mean, it is a heavy kayak. This Bonafide, the new Bonafide is really heavy, even heavier than this thing, and I don't want to drag this one around either. So that's probably what I'll do. But I don't have much more time to fish here at home anyway before I leave to go to Florida. And then if I could get that trailer shortly after getting back, then it would all work out. But that's kind of my plan. That's what I want to do. And I've been thinking more and more about how I'm going to put rod holders on that Bonafide. And I think I'm kind of going to do the whole, what's it called? Oxum's razor? Oxum something. You know what I'm trying to say. There's that old guy back in the day. He came up with a philosophy that the simplest answer is usually correct. And I think that's what I'm going to apply when it comes to mounting rod holders to the new kayak, is just take the simplest route possible, which will be basically doing a board across the gunnels of the kayak that extend beyond the kayak. So kind of like this, where I've got my power poles going off the side on each side. So if I want to go carp fishing, we can anchor ourselves, and then have my rod holders going across this way. That way I can, if I want to, and that'll be behind the seat. That way, if I want to turn around and fish off the back, I can do so, and then I'll just mount. It's got that standing area there in the front, standing platform. On the front deck, I'll mount a couple rod holders to it, so that way if I'm suspend fishing, I can use 4 rods, evenly spaced around the kayak. If I'm trolling for bait, I can face the front of the kayak and use the front rod holders. Or if I'm catfishing, I can just turn around, fish off the back. If I'm carp fishing, I'll turn around and fish off the back. And we'll just have our rod holders set up, spaced evenly across, the way we can cast out, or we can drop down off the sides and suspend if we're catfishing. I think that's going to be the way to go. Part of me didn't want to put a board across because it ties up some of your floor space. But it is going to be the simplest way to do it. It's going to be the cheapest way to do it. And it's going to be the lightest way to do it, because a lot of these fellas in the tournament scene, you know, Ryan Boards, I'm friends with, y'all have seen his kayak on my videos. Kayak Mike, same deal. They've got these big, heavy metal rod racks going on the back of their kayaks, and them damn things are so heavy, it's caused a lot of problems for them. They've both broke their rod holders. Ryan lost his going down the highway down there in Louisiana because they're just so damn heavy. I don't want to, this kayak's going to be 1,000,000 pounds already. I don't want to add more weight than I have to it. And you take a board like this, it's just a piece of 1x6. That's nothing. That's 2 or 3 pounds. So, and it holds up. It's good enough. Believe me, if a catfish is strong enough to break this board, rip a rod holder off that's bolted through, I don't need to catch the damn thing anyway. What the hell am I going to do with a fish that powerful? So, I think that's probably the way I'm going to go. And it would be the fastest way to do it, the cheapest way to do it. And the only thing I really lose by doing it that way is just the floor space. Having that board there, and I was concerned about that with spinning the chair around, fishing off the back, if it's kind of there where your legs are, but I think it can be done depending on where I put my cooler. And I may end up putting my cooler in front of the seat. I don't know. That'll be one of them things I figure out probably tomorrow when I pick it up and can actually sit in the kayak. Because I looked at Kayak Mike's over there at the South Carolina tournament. He had it there. And, you know, looking at it is, I can feel around on it and press around on it and stuff, make sure there ain't no soft spots in the plastic. It was nice to see it up close and personal, certainly, but until you actually physically get in the thing, it's hard. I'm not an interior designer, folks. My brain don't work like that. I can't just envision how things are going to be until I'm in it. So, we'll see. But I should know something more tomorrow. I'm going to go up there and... Oh, right here. He's got it. He's jumping out there. Did you see that? He's jumping out there. I saw him come out of the water. I saw him come out the water right there. I don't know what that is. Whatever he is, though, he come up. He can't go down in that shallow water. I mean, I'm telling you, it's probably 2 feet deep right now. It would normally be 4 or 5 feet deep, but with them dropping the water down a couple feet right now, it's super shallow. These fish cannot go down. They can go side to side. They can come flying up out of the water, but that's it. That's their only options. Let's see what it is. Buffalo, yes, yes. All right. That's a good sign, folks. That is what we want to see today. One of the fish we want to see today. Yes, folks. He ain't very big, but I don't care. I don't even care that he ain't very big. I just want to catch some of them, man. Yes. Always makes me happy to catch some buffalo. Let me reset my poles here. Nice. Buffalo, I am happy to see you, pal. I am happy to see you. Oh. There we go. All right. We'll get that piece of corn out the net here in a minute. Let me set y'all up here in the front seat while I pick this thing up. I'm gonna give him a little front camera time. I'm gonna make this fish's day, folks. Oh, buddy. Small buffalo. Dang thing. He wasn't having it, buddy. He wasn't having it. He said he didn't do no pictures today, did he? No fish. Oh, I've pulled my damn poles forward again, just leaning up there to get y'all. Normally, I anchor us down when I fish this area a little further back, and I think it's mud over there, but I guess the farther it comes out, it gets rocky. Because these poles, I can hear them. I can hear them in the rocks down there. So we're going to have a harder time getting ourselves anchored appropriately today. We're going to have to constantly be fiddling with them things. But a day like today, I appreciate these poles a little more because the wind's blowing pretty good down through here, blowing toward the back of this creek right now. And so having these poles off each side of the kayak like we do, it keeps us from kind of weather veining, having that weather veining effect, because we would be pointed that way, which I guess wouldn't be the worst thing. I could have set up there. Either way, it don't matter. It don't matter, folks. We're catching fish back here. That's the most important thing. That's number 2, but the first one that counts. Old Buffalo, man, he come right up out of the water first thing right there, didn't he? And he knew he was hooked. He was like, I gotta head up the surface. Unlucky for him, he wasn't going nowhere. Unlucky for me, once he was unhooked, he was going where he wanted, which was out of this kayak. Let's get us another worm. You know, this thing's labeled as fat, juicy worms, but they don't seem very fat to me. I don't know as far as the juice goes. Maybe they're a little bit more juicy than other worms. I don't know how you'd measure that, but it sure don't seem like they're very fat. Okay. There we go, folks. We're back in the game. We got all 4 rods out again. Get this bait zipped back up here. I got this kayak all nice and clean. We're gonna get it dirty. It'll be all right. It won't take me long to clean it next time. I had to give it a deep clean because I had literally mold growing on it, mold and algae. So it'll be much easier the next time here. I'm gonna kick back and relax a little bit here, folks. We got the pressure off now. We got our first real fish in the boat. 20 some odd minutes in, so I'm feeling pretty good at the moment. Feeling good about the fishing, feeling good about just health-wise. Feel like I can breathe better today. I was telling those of you who watched the last video, which was filmed yesterday, like since I got sick, I've been real short of breath at times. And today, I'm not 100%, but I certainly feel better. I feel like I can breathe a little better. I'm talking to you all without feeling like I need to take as deep a breath. So, I feel good. I feel better than my cat does today, so I've been telling the story of these cats that have come into my life because my neighbor left them to die when she moved. And the girlfriends come around to it a little bit, having these cats. And so the orange one, and I've showed this to my channel members, this cat, he was real puny, but he's put on some weight the last couple weeks as he's been getting fed all the time. Anyway, I took him to the vet on Thursday. And he got his vaccinations and his exam, and the vet thought that he was okay to go ahead and get neutered. She thought he was healthy enough to go ahead and do that, and so I left him there Thursday night because they had an opening to get him neutered there yesterday morning. Well, he gets home there yesterday evening, and the surgery went fine, no issues. Well, this cat no longer trusted me, folks. It took a while to build trust to get to where I could pet this cat initially, because he didn't really like people. And so it took a while. And I'd slowly got him used to me and liking me. And then, of course, I pick him up and I put him in a crate and I take him up there and he gets poked and prodded on and gets his nuts chopped off. Well, I guess when he got home last night, he wasn't trusting me ever again, because he immediately come out of the crate and went straight under the couch. Oh, we got fish. We got another one. I think this might be another one of them damned old channel cats, though. I think it's going to be a channel cat. Y'all can reel this one in. Just take over here, finish handling this one for me. I'm done with channel cats today. That first one, I had my fill on the first one. Get him up here and just confirm, but I'm pretty, yep, it is. Channel cat. Damned old channel cat. Worm eater. A worm stealer. Come over here. Come over here. What do you got to say for yourself, channel cat? I don't know what you got to say for yourself, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no excuses as to why you've come over here and stole my worm. Paid good money for these fat, juicy worms that ain't fat or juicy. Give me it back. There you go. Tell these people hi and bye. Channel cat number 2. He did leave our worm on, at least. It's even less fat and less juicy now, but it's on there. I'll just throw it back out. So anyway, this cat, we've named him, uh-oh. Something gave our cut bait a little run over there. Probably one of them channel cats. This cat, we named him, we're calling him Marty. That's short for Martin Luther Kitty. And he come home last night, come out that crate, went under the couch, and he don't like me no more. He's finally, I cooked a steak yesterday evening, and he smelt it, and he come out. Then I got close to him and dropped him a couple pieces down, because I'm generous like that. I give the animals at my house a bite of my steak, and he eat it. But the hope of getting the vet sent pain medicine home with him, and these syringes, and you're supposed to squirt it in his mouth. Well, good luck doing that when you can't get a hold of the damn cat. So he was out this morning when I left, but I wasn't getting no medicine in him. So it just is what it is, you know. I can't force it down him. It's going to take a little while to build some trust again. I probably should have waited to get the neutering done, but I'd already traumatized him by taking him up there to the vet on Thursday, and the fact that they could go ahead and get it done means he don't have to go back. We don't have to put him in the crate and haul him up there again to be poked and prodded on. So it was going to be traumatic for him regardless. So I feel like it's just go ahead and get it done. So we did. But he's in the house. He's got to be in the house for the next few days while he recovers. So he's in there. The girlfriend, she's coming around to these cats. We may end up, the orange one, I wasn't sure about him. He was so sickly when I first got him to where he would let me pet him and stuff. I wasn't sure if he would even make it, let alone function well inside. The little black one, who was kind of the runt of my neighbor's cats, it just made itself at home there. It was just the sweetest cat initially. And I got back from South Carolina, and I'd left the black one in. My mom went over there and fed it and stuff, make sure it wasn't destroying the place. And I walked back in my house after getting home from South Carolina, and I was like, what the hell happened to the little runt of a cat? Like it added all this weight while I was gone. It must have just been eating nonstop, because it packed on a couple pounds. It looks like a completely different cat. It's so much bigger. And its whole personality has changed. Even my girlfriend, she come over the other night and she was like, is this the same cat? And we had to question it because here's the thing. It's a little black cat, right? It's solid black and it's got like 5 or 6 white hairs on its chest. That's the only thing that ain't black on it. It's just 5 or 6 white hairs. Not even a patch. It's just individual hairs. There was another cat that looked identical to it. I think they're probably siblings. It was the only way you could tell it and this one apart was the fact that the other one was a little bit bigger, and the fact that the larger one, it was the most skittish out of all of them. Like, I barely grazed it one day, petted it, while I took some food down there to my neighbor's house, but that was as close as I ever got to it. But that's the only way you could tell these cats apart. And my girlfriend's like, are you sure that it's the right cat? That we ain't got them mixed up somehow? Because this one now, it ain't sweet no more. Like, it's just, the other one, the little runt one, it would follow you around outside. It wanted you to pet it all the time. Like, it was just, and it would talk nonstop. It was always meowing. This one now, it don't talk or meow anymore. It don't want you petting it. And it's kind of mean. Poor Daphne, the dog's scared to death of it. This cat, man, it'll root Daphne out of her dog bed. She'll be laying there on her dog bed there in the living room of the house. If this cat wants that bed, it'll just go up and start whooping the far out of Daphne and make her run. Of course, Daphne's got 50 pounds on this cat. Daphne's scared to death of it, though. This cat is just, I mean, it's just made itself the king and the emperor of the house. And so I don't know if it's the same cat or not, but if it ain't, I don't know what the hell happened to the other one. We think that maybe the people that's working on my neighbor's house, they're down there fixing it up. My neighbor, I told that story, she trashed that house. I mean, it was just completely trashed. Everything in that house was going to have to be taken out, just gutted and started over, basically. She ruined that place. I don't know how she ruined it, but she ruined it. But anyway, there's been a construction team down there, and they've been doing remodeling, getting the place cleaned up and everything. Well, I was feeding them other cats, the other black one, and the one, there was another one down there that was real sick. I mean, you could hear it breathing like its lungs were full. I'm guessing it probably had that feline leukemia, would be my guess. I'm no veterinarian, but just researching feline leukemia and looking at that cat and its symptoms, I think that's probably what it had. Which thankfully Marty doesn't have that. We'll never know about the other one because I couldn't get it in the crate. My chest is all scratched up where I was trying to put it in the crate, take it to the vet the other day too. Didn't work out. But anyway, I was going down there feeding them cats before I left for the South Carolina trip. And when I left, my mom was coming over to my house and she was feeding them cats down there. And she never saw any of them cats. And they was always around my neighbor's house. Like, I'd just walk down there and shake the food bag and they'd come running. So the fact my mom went that whole week and didn't see them, and then since I've been home, I've not seen them, I think there's a flaw in the slaw. They didn't just run off because, I mean, they were getting fed. So we called the pound and nobody had dropped any off. So I'm assuming them construction worker guys either captured them and took them off somewhere and dumped them, or they just killed them. Who knows? But either way, 2 of them cats are gone. The other black one and the sickly one. Now, I had one of those cats, I don't know if it's the right one or not, but I had that one I'd put in my house while I was gone, and then the orange one, we'd got it used to feeding up there at my house, so he was used to Daphne and stuff, so I think it was kind of hanging out up there. So if them guys did trap them and take them off, it was obviously at my house and wasn't going to get trapped. So anyway, 2 of the 4 cats are gone. And one of the 2 that we now have at my house is a jerk. I mean, that's the easiest way to describe it. He's a jerk. So I either got the wrong cat, or this cat has just done a complete 180 on his personality since he moved in. So I don't know. But either way, if he keeps acting this way, he ain't going to be living with me long. He's going to go back to being an outside cat. And here's the other thing, too. So I got home yesterday, and I wanted to go ahead and clean out the litter box and everything before I let Marty out there after his surgery. I go in there, the other cat, the one we're calling Midnight, the little black one, he had peed, not in the litter box, he had peed beside the litter box. I'm like, you little jerk, man, this is just he's something else, buddy. It's a completely different cat. Maybe literally a completely different cat. The little runt, he's all grown up now, I guess. I don't know. So I don't know if he's going to work out or not, folks. I don't know. Either way, the girlfriend's come around. She's come around to the idea of these cats. I bought an air purifier, which I talked about yesterday, which really helps. It's amazing how well an air purifier helps with pet smells in the house. I'm shocked at how well it does. I thought them things were total scams, but it's the real deal, man. And I got one of the small ones. My house is small anyway, but I got I think it's a bedroom version or something. It says it's like good up to 1,095 feet, I believe it was, which who the hell's bedroom's 1,000 square feet? Come on, that's ridiculous. Hell, my whole house probably ain't 1,095 square feet. It's somewhere around there, 1,100, something like that. So I got a small house, so that little bedroom version's enough for me, and I stuck it in my dining room. I just leave it running because it's very quiet, and boy, it's made a huge difference. So I compromised by getting the air purifier, and we got one of them litter robots coming, although I don't know if it's coming today. FedEx, they never show up on time at my house. Of all the shipping services, Postal Service, UPS, FedEx is the worst. They never get anything to my house. You get that email and it says, expect delivery by, it's always a day or two late. And so it was supposed to come today, but it's a Saturday, and I don't even know if FedEx runs on Saturdays. And then Monday's a holiday. I think it's a Veterans Day or something, right? What is today? Day's the 9th. I'm pretty sure Monday's Veterans Day or something. So you know they ain't running then. So I probably won't get that litter robot until Tuesday, assuming there ain't some other delay. So anyway, that was the two compromises with the girlfriend. We'll get a air purifier, make the house smell better, and help with like the dust and the dander and stuff like that causes her problems. And then hopefully get the litter robot to help on the litter and the litter box smell and stuff like that. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens with these damn cats. I didn't think I was going to ever have another cat after my last one, but here I am. I'm a sucker for pitiful animals, and it don't get more pitiful than that orange cat, Martin Luther Kitty, buddy. He was skin and bones. His ear, he'd been to fight at some point because half of his left ear's missing, and he's walking with a limp. He's just in bad shape, but he's getting better. He don't feel like it today, probably with his nuts chopped off, but we're gonna improve his life, at least try to anyway. The other one, the original plan was to send it to my friend Mark's house, be an outdoor cat. It may still end up going to Mark's house if it don't slow its roll a little bit there. You know, I want these cats. When Daphne's trying to sniff their butts and stuff like that, like I want them cats defending themselves. But I don't want this cat just walking while Daphne's laying there in her bed sound asleep. I don't want this cat just going up and start smacking Daphne to get her to move. I don't want poor Daphne the dog getting bullied. So, I don't know what's going to happen. But the orange cat, though, Martin Luther Kitty, it does pretty good with Daphne. It's tolerant of Daphne, but it's not aggressive toward her. The orange cat, Martin Luther Kitty, it's definitely the most submissive animal in the house, at least right now. But we'll see how it goes. I'll keep giving y'all updates because I know y'all care so much about the cat saga. It's just one of them things, folks, man. Animals show up in your life and you got to make a decision. Do I let this animal starve to death because my irresponsible neighbor just moved and left them? Or do I feed the damn things? And then when you start feeding them, you start bonding with them, and, you know, it's, here we are. Here we are, folks. But anyway, Daphne went to my parents' house last night. My mom picked her up because, well, two reasons. One, we didn't want Daphne with the cat just got neutered because Daphne's going to want to sniff and smell and lick and probably be too rough, so that's no good. And then two, with me leaving tomorrow, I'm going to be gone all day. Driving to Ohio, it's going to be a all-day adventure tomorrow. Daphne was going to have to go to stay with my parents anyway, so I just went ahead and sent her down to the grandparents yesterday, and that'll free me up not having to rush tomorrow, which not that I can rush anyway when you're driving that far. But I'm just going to go up there, pick the thing up in the truck. I'll come back, just stick it on the carport there and get everything mounted. And then when the trailer does eventually show up, just adjust the bunks. I don't want to adjust the bunks for this kayak for this. I've talked about that. It ain't worth the hassle to do it for no longer than I would be pulling it with this trailer. And I'm going to sell, when I sell this kayak, I'm going to try to sell the trailer with it, just a package deal. The motor's already spoken for. It's one of the guys in the tournament club's going to buy that motor. I'm taking the graph off, obviously, which I still got to figure out what the hell's wrong with it because it don't work right now. Well, it didn't. I ain't tried turning it on since I got home, but it didn't work in the South Carolina tournament day. It just crapped out. So hopefully it's just a wire pulled loose or something. And yeah, this will pretty much just be bare hull kayak with the pedals and the trailer. I'm going to sell it. And my plan right now, I'll use the Bonafide kayak for my catfish trips, definitely the tournament trips. I'm still going to have my Old Town kayak for kind of my, I call it my fun fishing trips really, because I have so much fun fishing out of that kayak, but have it and then have my Hobie Lynx for my ultralight trips and for the saltwater trips, assuming it does good in the saltwater. We'll see. We'll see how it does down there in the ocean. It's going to be a big test for me. I know it's going to be easier getting from the truck to the beach there. It's going to be way easier because of the lighter weight. I want to see how I do with it on the water, fishing in the current, around the bridges. I want to see how it does down there in that situation. But so far, I like it. I like it a lot. It did great out there yesterday. Now, I did take the motor off of it yesterday. I tried out that Texas Power Paddle motor that goes up in the transducer slot area there. And it just didn't work out. It's sucking up all these leaves all over the water right now. If there's a leaf around, it's going to suck it up. And then it gets caught in that weed guard and the prop stops running. And so you can't go 20 feet without hitting a leaf. And I know it's going to be like that down there in the ocean. You're going to be running into seaweed all the time. So it just didn't work out. I took it off. When I get back, I'll list it for sale. I'll probably put it in that Hobie Lynx Facebook group and list it for sale there. It'll probably be the most likely place to get rid of it. I had high expectations of that thing. The concept of it is awesome. A small, compact, lightweight motor fits inside that transducer cavity. Turning on, it pops out. You turn it off, it pops back up in there. Like, that's brilliant design. But the actual motor itself is such crap. It's such garbage. It's like, somebody needs to take that concept and improve it. And I ain't trying to talk bad about the company, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I like something, I like something. If I don't, I don't. I paid full price for this thing. It ain't like a company, you know, sent me this or cut me a deal on it, and I'm just like, you know, supposed to take it easy on them, I guess. I'm not gonna do that anyway, but I mean, with this, not only did I pay full price for it, I had to search for it because the company don't have any more. They're not getting any more in until spring of 25, they said. So I had to call around these dealers around the country. Finally found one in New Mexico that had one. They don't even ship stuff, but I talked to the owner on the phone. I'm like, hey, can I give you my credit card over the phone and cover any shipping charges and you mail it to me? And he did. He was a nice guy. He was a real nice guy. And he did. I wish he hadn't now, now that I know what I know about the motor. But I took it off. I don't think it's going to be any use to me down there in the Keys, so I'm just going to use the pedals and hope I don't get drugged miles and miles out to sea with something big. But I do like that Hobie Lynx. It's a fun platform to fish off of. It just feels different on the water. That's all I can say about it. It's just different. It feels different. I mean, it is different. It's basically a paddle board with a seat and pedals. The whole design's completely different, and so you turn easier. You kind of glide over the water instead of kind of plowing through it. Because the kayak, the whole design is kind of especially the bow of all these kayaks, you know, it's like a triangle basically. And you kind of plow through the water. The kayak's down in the water and you plow through. This paddleboard kind of just floats on top. There's no V shape. It's just, you know, and so you glide very easily, and you can spin easily. You can turn on a dime even with the pedals. You use the pedals in this Hobie Pro Angler and try to turn. Hell, it's going to take this whole damn creek here to make the turn. But I can pump my feet real short, fast pedals and basically turn in a 360 right there in place. So it's going to be more maneuverable around the bridges, I think. I haven't fished on that kayak in current yet, so that'll be the I guess the real test is how it does in the current, how maneuverable is it going to be in current. But so far, I like it, and I'm taking it down there to Florida. I'm going to try to catch as big a fish as I possibly can on it down there. I'm going to take it to Lake Ida. I'm going to try to catch some peacock bass. Try to catch them in giant bluegill, some exotic species. Weather depending, I may hit Boynton Beach or Pompano Beach too, and just maybe try to do some shark fishing there before I go down to the Keys. A couple years back, I got on some blacktip sharks there. I went with Brian Nelly and fished, and got several blacktip sharks right there in the inlet. And so I think I'd like to do that again. That'd be a good warm-up test prior to going to the Keys and potentially getting on much bigger specimens. There's big sharks up there on the mainland part of Florida too, but I mean, down there in the Keys, you get down there along the bridges, and bull sharks, hammerheads, there's a lot of sharks down there, a lot more sharks in the Keys down there. So I'd like to have things kind of dialed in before I go down there. And I don't know if I was hoping to maybe do a catfish trip in that Lynx, but I don't know if that's going to work out or not. I haven't found a good way to securely mount rod holders to it. I bought I think they're called SUP S-U-P stand-up paddleboard leash adapters. And they're these special bolts with a hook, and you can mount stuff to them. I don't even know what the hell they're called, but they're molded into the Hobie links there and other stand-up paddle boards, and you connect bungees to them and whatnot. Anyway, I got them. I got the Yak Attack version. And the bolts are just so short. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this? And so I went to a store. I went to Ace Hardware, and I bought some eye bolts. They're bolts, but they got like a hook eye on there. And I took a Dremel and I cut part of the eye open so that way I could run it around that little bar in the links there. But still, the bolt, because of the indention, the bolt wasn't long enough to be able to do what I want to do with it. So I can't come up with a good way yet to mount secure rod holders for catfishing on the thing. I will figure it out, but I ain't figured it out yet. For the shark fishing, down there in the Keys, it's not a huge deal because I use my clickers. So I'm not having fish just load up the rod and take off running, putting a lot of torque in that situation, like you would with catfish. Well, I'm having a hard time with these power poles back here. With just this tiny chop on the water from the wind, it's enough to bounce them things out. I feel like we've had a long time now without a bite, folks. You think we should maybe rebait? I think we probably should. 2 channel cats and a buffalo. Thus far, I feel like we need a little bit more action. This one here was the one that didn't have our worm's going on this one. This is the one that don't have any plastic corn. So if the worm goes missing on this one, we're just sitting there with a bare hook. We'll just go ahead and spruce everything up except the catfish bait. I'm gonna leave it out because we just have that one perch. And so we've basically got 2, maybe 3 baits out of it. So we need to kind of make it last. I don't know if anything will come back here and eat that thing or not, but by gosh, we got it out there. If something does want it, we got it there for them. If I'd had my live bait bucket, I'd have kept that thing alive. Let's see if we can get this whole worm on the hook, whole fat, juicy red worm here. I think we got some false advertisement going on here with these worms, though, folks. I don't feel like they're particularly fat or juicy. They're wiggly, that's for sure. It's hard to get hold of the damn thing. All right, let's launch this back over there. I'm trying to hit what I'm hoping is about the middle of the old creek bed, where hopefully the water's just a smidge deeper, and I would suspect, especially when you've got a situation like right now where the water's down, fish that are working back up in here are probably following that old creek bed. What I need to do, this is missing a worm too. We've been robbed. What I need to do is put some kind of marker out there, I guess. That'd probably be the smart thing to do. That way I'd know exactly where it's at and I'd have a visual target to cast to. Probably be next year's project. I don't know how many more carp trips I'm going to get this year. I thought the last one would probably be the last one, but I was kind of in the mood to catch some carp and some buffalo. And kind of just, I talked about this yesterday a little bit. I kind of touched on it. I kind of just got, I don't want to say I'm burned out on catfishing, but I just feel like I need a little break. It ain't so much even the catfishing. It's just the grind of having to catch bait, especially these traveling trips and stuff. You got to go, and as soon as you get into town somewhere, you got to try to get bait, and it's always a little bit more challenging to find bait in new water, places you're not familiar with, and figure out what bait works best. And I had to grind on the Louisiana trip to get mullet. I had a hard time getting bait over in South Carolina. Finally, the day before tournament, got on a massive school of perch and was able to get those, but it's like, man, I'm just kind of tired. I just need a break from catfishing a little bit, and I've really been in the mood to ultralight fish a lot. That's what I was really looking forward to doing when I got back home, and then of course I got sick, so we did some ultralight fishing yesterday, had a good day. Caught a bunch of fish. So I'm gonna get out here. If I feel like it today, I'm gonna get out here and do some carp fishing. Unfortunately, I woke up today feeling good, so here we are. We'll see. I'll get back after the cats next week probably. At least try to catch some bait to give it a shot. I don't know how we'll do with the water falling, but we'll give it a shot next week. I just need to take a little siesta from it, a little break from it. I know that probably sounds silly to a lot of people, but just kind of, if it wasn't the tournament thing, it was probably I probably wouldn't ever be burnt out from catfishing if it wasn't from the damn tournaments. But the tournaments do kind of, just the grind of it. I don't know why I do the tournaments, honestly. I have fun on tournament day as long as I'm doing well. But otherwise, I always end up like just thinking like, why am I doing this? I did end up having a really good year on the tournament scene though. I fished, there was 9 tournaments on the tournament trail this year. I fished 7 of them. I missed Sandusky Bay and I missed the Wheeler, Alabama one, both due to weather. And of the 7 tournaments that I fished, I won 3 of them. And I cashed in 6 out of the 7. I had 3 wins, 2 second place finishes, a 4th place finish, and then I finished dead last. Or next to last, excuse me, in South Carolina. 3 wins, 2 second places, a 4th, and next last. Yeah, that's right. So all in all, it's pretty good season. I won the Big Fish prize in 3 tournaments as well. So cashing in 6 out of 7 tournaments is pretty good. I mean, I ain't trying to toot my own horn. I didn't win Angler of the Year. I lost by 1 point. Finishing next to last place there in that last tournament sealed the deal for me losing. It's 2 years in a row I've lost by 1 point on Angler of the Year, but I calculated that it was over $10,000 in prize money I won. So basically my new kayak, the motor, and the trailer all paid for with the tournament winnings. So these fellas I'm fishing against, they bought me a new kayak and trailer setup, motor setup. So all in all, it was a good year. I'm weird like that, I guess. I enjoy the camaraderie of the tournaments and stuff, but the the process of getting ready for tournaments, having to go out on tournament day, which is always a weekend, you got to fish all damn day, regardless of weather or water conditions. I try to work around Mother Nature and work around pleasure boat times and try to make my normal fishing trips the most enjoyable possible for me. And when you're tournament fishing, you don't have that luxury. You have to fish the hours that's the tournament hours that are scheduled, regardless. Now, when you travel somewhere to get ready for a tournament, you kind of have to grind. You got to get out there and find your bait. You got to cover water and try to figure out a plan for tournament day. And you really got to work at it. If you're going to be successful, you got to put in work. And I don't like fishing to be work. I don't. I like it to be fun and relaxing. And so I enjoy fishing more when it's like today. Look right here, we rebaited and we're already hooked up. We didn't have any worms on our hooks. Somehow we got robbed on every hook, and now we freshen everything up, and here we go again. I fear this might be another channel cat though. Why y'all keep catching channel cats for? I know this is supposed to be a catfish and carp combo trip, but it's the wrong kind of catfish, folks. Well, this is a little bigger one though, I'll tell you that. I didn't realize. Oh no, this ain't a channel cat. That's a carp. It's a carp that just fought weird. I thought for sure that was a channel cat. No, it's a carp, and it ain't a bad one either. Boy, he just didn't fight right. He's gonna fight more now. It honestly felt like a small channel cat that I was pulling in for most of the fight. I'll be damned. I'll be damned, folks. Well, I'm glad I didn't hand you the rod after all, since it's a carp. I was about to hand it over to you and let you reel in them channel cats. Let's get our net up here. If y'all ain't gonna reel him in, you can at least land him for me. Oh, he's behind the motor. He's behind the motor. Get over there. You're gonna knock a knot on your head, you old carp. He barely fought, now you don't want to quit. There we go. There we go, folks. Whew, that's a nice carp, buddy. What a peculiar fight. What a peculiar fight. I was convinced that was a channel cat. That's a nice one. Imagine that, we actually got some worms on the hooks out there and we start catching fish. I don't know how our other worms got ripped off all them other hooks, but they did, and we freshened everything up, and here we go. Let me set y'all up here in the front seat again. I'm gonna hold this thing up here. Hopefully he'll be more cooperative than the buffalo. Come here, carp. This one's a little bit darker color. Nice, y'all. Carp number one. He's old one eye. I don't know if you can see right there. He's missing an eyeball. It's all, honestly, don't even look like he ever had an eye. It ain't like it's a hole there. Nice. All right. See you, buddy. So, channel cat, buffalo, carp. We've got the trifecta. What we really need's a blue now. A blue or a flathead to eat that piece of cut bait. Or we need, I guess a turtle would probably be the more fitting thing. That's probably in these creeks. With it being as chilly as it is today, I don't know how much turtles, I don't know how active the turtles will be out here today, but we've had some warm afternoons, so they're definitely coming out in the afternoons, but I don't know about right now in the morning. Let's get our hook out from this net here. I'm glad bass fishermen went on. I saw all them boats there at the launch. I'm like, boy, I bet somebody's gonna be back in that daggone creek. So far, so good. Well, I can't get that out. Y'all pick that corn out the net for me. There we go. Now we found it. And to find which way we need to run it. There it is. Now we're in business. Okay. Well, interesting battle there with that carp. But we know there are some carp in here. We know there are some fish back here, just super shallow. I was really concerned it might move them out, but so far so good. Pack this on there some more. We've cast out so many times now, we probably don't need to put as much pack bait on the feeder, but I'm just going to dump out whatever we have left today because I'm not going to be carp fishing again. Definitely not going tomorrow since I'm going to get the kayak, and I think Monday it's supposed to be raining, I think. Unless the weather reports change, so I probably won't be. And hell, by the time I'd have a chance to come back out here, I may not even be able to fish here because of the water level dropping, so. Okay, now let's get ready to cast this back out. It's a lousy cast, but we'll roll with it. Okay. Put our worm lid back on, put this back up. Well, folks, I feel better now that we've had a carp and a buffalo now. I feel better about it. I wasn't feeling bad about it before, but I just feel better about it now. Just over an hour in, we've had, what, 2 channels, buffalo and carp. So 4 fish in a little over an hour. That's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. Some days the action's more on than others. Sometimes it seems like it takes a while to get going. I'm assuming, I know I made more noise coming back here today because my motor was hitting bottom over here. I never run the graph anyway when I'm carp fishing, but I can't obviously run it now if it tore up. So I didn't realize how shallow I was running until I hit bottom. And then, of course, that prop sitting there spinning on the bottom, hitting mud and rocks and stuff, that was sending a lot of noise out. But if we can get our baits kind of in that old creek channel, the original creek bed, them fish will probably be working in and out all the time. At least I hope. Yeah, that motor up there, I done got it sold. A guy in the tournament club's gonna buy one. I'm gonna sell him the motor and the batteries for it. And it's gonna be real interesting to see what happens with the motor situation. I don't know how many of y'all know this, but Motor Guide, and that's what that is, that's a Motor Guide XI3, the kayak version. Motor Guide has ceased to exist. The parent company, whatever hedge fund group, whatever parent company owned the Motor Guide brand, they've shut it down. No more Motor Guides are being made. And so that kind of creates an interesting situation in the kayak fishing world, because that is the one affordable bow mount motor that is made specifically for kayak. And of course, I say it's made for kayaks. That is the kayak version, quote unquote. The only thing that's kayak about it is they made a 36-inch shaft. That's the only thing that's different versus their other models of that same motor. But it is nice having a 36-inch shaft. If you buy a different motor, you either have a shaft that's sticking up 3-4 foot above your kayak there, I mean, hell, too damn tall, or you have to cut the shaft down yourself, which voids the warranty. So these Motor Guides have been very popular motors amongst people who want a bow mount on their kayaks. And, you know, honestly, and you all have heard me, regular viewers have heard me complain about what piss poor quality they are. That's my second one of the motor. I've went through 2 GPS units, and I've went through multiple remotes. So quality of those things aren't the best, which is probably why they're out of business now. They probably was just, you know, not a very good, not a very profitable product with how many warranty replacements and all they're probably doing. I mean, I promise you, if they were profitable, the company would have kept the brand in business. I mean, hell, Motor Guide's been around forever. So they clearly weren't profitable or they wouldn't have shut them down. But here's the thing. With it being the most affordable bow mount option, I mean, yeah, the power pole motor, they've got a 36-inch shaft, but it's almost $5,000. That's not affordable to most kayak fishermen, right? Like that compared to $1,200 for this motor, you know what I'm saying? Like most people's going to choose the $1,200 version. And with it being gone now, what are people going to go with? Will they just say, okay, I just won't do a bow mount. They'll do a stern mount motor. What about these kayaks? Oh, well, I mean, I'll give you 2 examples. The 2 newest kayaks that have come out there, they're released this year. Well, both of them were launched at ICAST. The Bonafide's out now. The Wilderness System version of their same thing is coming out in the spring, I believe. But here's the thing, both of those kayaks were pretty much designed for bow mount motors. That's pretty much what they were expected to be propelled by. Neither of them have pedal drives. They don't have a slot for a pedal drive. They come with no pedal drives. Both of them are so large, so wide, you're not going to paddle them. And sure, you can mount a stern mount motor on them. You could put a Torpedo on the back or a trolling motor on the back, but why the hell would you want to? If you're going to run a stern mount motor, you wouldn't want one of those kayaks. Because what are you going to do when you get where you're going? Like my bass fishing friends, for instance, a lot of them run stern mount motors. It's kind of like an outboard in the back of their kayak, basically, right? And so it gives them more speed having the motor in the back versus the front, but they'll make a run, get where they're going, and then they'll use their pedals to navigate around and bass fish along the shore and navigate and stuff. So if you can't get a reasonably priced bow mount motor, why the hell would you buy a kayak that needs a bow mount motor? If you're going to have to put a stern mount motor, why don't you get a pedal drive kayak? So I think it has potential. I think it has potential to hurt the sales of both the Bonafide and the Wilderness Systems kayak. I think it's got real potential to mess them up. I think we got a fish working this left rod here. My line went tight and then slack, and the wind's moving it a little bit, but maybe I'm imagining things. I swear I think it got tugged on. Oh, hell, maybe I imagined it. It ain't doing it now, is it? Something probably ate that worm off there. We'll give it a little while. We may check it. I don't want to sit there with a bare hook on that one when it ain't got no plastic corn or nothing. But yeah, the Bonafide XTR and the Wilderness System, whatever, I forget the name of it's going to be called. I watched the iCast video about it. I wasn't too impressed with the overall design. I like the Bonafide design better than the Wilderness System as far as the layout of the kayak. But both of them, you look at those two kayaks and they're like, okay, anybody that's going to want those two kayaks, they're putting a bow mount motor on there. You're not putting a stern. You might put a stern mount and a bow mount if you're one of those people, but you're not going stern mount exclusively. You're just not. That'd be stupid. A bass fisherman's not going to want to do that. Now, first off, if you're a cat fisherman, you want the features of a bow mount motor, the spot lock, the course heading, the GPS features, right? Like, you're not going to get that in a stern mount motor. If you're a bass fisherman and you just want a motor to get you point A to point B very quickly so that you can slow down and fish, well, you're not going to use a Bonafide or the Wilderness System because you're going to have to use a paddle to navigate around along the shoreline and stuff, which means you got to set your rod down to pick up the paddle, make some corrections, pick your rod up again, cast. Whereas if you get a pedal drive kayak and you put a stern mount motor on it, you motor, get where you're going, then you use your pedals, your hands free, make you cast, move along. So I just don't think it's going to be a very popular option, either one of those kayaks, with people who are going to run stern mount motors. And you're certainly not going to paddle either one of those kayaks. It'd be miserable. You're paddling barges. They're so big and so wide. So if both of those companies were planning on people using bow mount motors on their kayaks and there's no more cheap option bow mount motors available, I think it's got to hurt sales, does it not? So I'm curious to see how things shake out. I've been disappointed with Motor Guide. Every time this damn thing tears up or the remote goes bad, I always go on a rant about it. But I am disappointed that they're going completely out of business. I wish they'd just fix their product. But now, if you don't have a reasonably priced bow mount motor, I think it not only potentially hurts the sales of like the Bonafide and the Wilderness Systems, kayak models that are already out or coming out, but I think it also possibly deters other kayak manufacturers from building new model kayaks that will be coming out in the next year or two because there's not going to be any motors to put on them. Now, eventually, sure, there'll be a Minn Kota or a Garmin or maybe a Power Pole that will come out with a more reasonably priced bow mount motor. Sure, it will happen. Somebody will fill that gap that Motor Guide's leaving, but it ain't happening overnight. It's going to take a little while. And so let's say next year one of those companies gets around to announcing, hey, they're coming out with a new motor or whatever. Well, it ain't going to hit the market right away. So, you've just set the kayak companies back behind, and ultimately that sets us back as kayak fishermen. It sets us behind when we can't get the technology and designs that we want. I think the only company that benefits from all this is Old Town, because Old Town is owned by Johnson Outdoors, which also owns Minn Kota, and so their autopilot kayak, they have the Minn Kota motor that sets in that slot there in front of the kayak, specially designed for it. And then, of course, they've got their electric PDL drive now. And so since they're making all that stuff in-house, they're not affected by this, whereas the other kayak manufacturers who are relying on other companies' products to go on their kayaks, they're just kicked square in the balls from it. So I don't know how it shakes out, but it's disappointing. Yeah, it's certainly disappointing. You know, I bought the power pole motor. I plunked down the money. These fellas I've fished in the tournaments with, they've paid for it, so I might as well get the latest and greatest technology. Plus, I didn't want to go with another motor guide after the experience I've had with this one and the one before it that tore up. But most people aren't going to do that. Most people aren't going to shell out that kind of money for a motor. I mean, hell, the motor's more expensive. The power pole motor is twice as expensive as the bona fide kayak. Most people just ain't going to do that. And I've wondered why Power Pole thinks anybody's going to do that. Maybe they just don't need to sell very many. I don't know. Kind of like a Mercedes or something, one of them fancy cars. Like your price so high, you're not going to sell as many. But maybe the profit margins are so high per unit that it's worthwhile. I don't know. I'm not privy to that kind of knowledge, but I'm just all about more options. The more options, the better. Now, when you see brands like Motor Guide going away and these big hedge fund companies, they're buying up brands and then putting them under kind of one roof, one parent company, it's us, the consumer, that gets hurt in these situations. I just want us to have more options. I mean, think about this, folks. From a kayak fishing perspective, the industry's really regressed. I mean, it was really going strong there up through about 2020, 2021, especially after COVID. When COVID first hit and everybody was looking for outdoor activities, kayak fishing really took it to a next level. But since then, things have really regressed in the industry. You look at what's come out since then. Old Town come out with their electric pedal drive. That was certainly innovative. I don't really care for it. I tried it. It wasn't something that I was personally I was interested in it until I tried it, and then I was like, yeah. But still, it was innovative nonetheless. Props to them for taking the chance, trying something different, something new. But beyond that, show me the innovation. You could say that maybe the bona fide's certainly different. And there's some innovative stuff about it, maybe, but beyond the Old Town electric pedal drive, and go ahead and give bona fide credit as far as being innovative, what else has changed? Nothing. If anything, too, qualities went down. You know, Jackson Kayak used to be known for good quality. The two people I know that have Jackson kayaks currently, or had one as of last year, both of them cracked their hulls. Qualities went down there. And Jackson hasn't come out with anything new and exciting in years. Hobie, I'm in a Hobie Pro Angler today, and they were kind of known as the gold standard, man. Hobie, when in the fishing kayak industry, there was Hobie, and then there was everybody else down here and below. Like, Hobie had such a wide margin lead over whoever, I guess Old Town would probably been like second. But there was Hobie, way down here, Old Town, Native, and so forth and so on. But when Hobie sold out to that hedge fund group, and they moved their operation to Mexico a couple years ago, the company it just went off a cliff. The quality, you can't trust Hobie quality anymore. I mean, this kayak here's a 2017 model. And the hull, I mean, I've broke the skeg line, which, I mean, that's wear and tear, but I mean, the hull itself, no issues, no cracks. Like, it's a tank. But I can't tell you how many people I know that have had problems with the new ones, cracking hulls. There's just no consistency in the hull, in the forming of the hulls now, the molding. People are cracking hulls. And everybody's having trouble with their warranties, getting replacements. If you need parts, forget about it. You can't get parts from the company. It's just, you know, look, I get it. You know, you move your operation from the United States to Mexico. There's going to take a little time. Now, you can make the argument they shouldn't have done that, but I mean, when a hedge fund buys your company, they're going to cut costs any way they can, and the number one cost for most of these businesses is labor. So they move the operation to Mexico, they get cheaper labor. It just is what it is. But, you know, there's often times when a company is going to move, whether it's across town or across the country to a different country. There's going to be a little downtime where they're shutting down one plant and opening the next, where it's going to take some time, get things up and running, get everything dialed back in, right? But it's been like 2 years now since Hobie moved, and the quality still sucks. And you still can't get replacement parts if you need something. So, and your warranty claims taking forever. Like, you're 2 years into this move. Like, it's a problem. And so Hobie don't have the reputation now that it did. Like that, like I said, there was Hobie and there was everybody else. Now there's Hobie and everybody else, and they're all kind of down here. Hobie's just not held in that esteem that it used to have. And I don't think they get it back, honestly. I mean, they come out, they had that Hobie Lynx that come out 2 or 3 years ago. That was the last innovative thing they've done. And I mean, do you even call it innovative? It's a stand-up paddleboard with a pedal drive slot and a seat. I don't know that you would call it innovative. Their redesigned Hobie Pro Angler for 2025. What the hell is special about it? They've made it easier to mount bow mounts, which you could already do with aftermarket parts. I think they made it easier to put a stern mount motor on, which you could already do with aftermarket parts. Like, they're just not, there's nothing innovative about it. You're putting a new coat of paint on something you're already making and calling it different. And people see right through that. Especially people like me and others who have, oh, we got a fish right here. Oh, no we don't. He tugged on it. He tugged on it, but he didn't have it. He got the worm. Dadgummit. I mean, the rod, you saw the rod, right? Like it was. Well, all right, Tim, let's just put a different worm on there. I'm going to check this one on the left, too, because I'm pretty sure something tugged on it there when I was talking to y'all earlier there about it. And he may have got our worm, too. These daggone fish stealing worms, buddy. We got to get them under control now. That kind of thing, we just ain't tolerating that. Ain't dealing no worm thieves out here. We'll call the law. Especially these fat, juicy worms. I went to the store. They didn't have any of the other kind of... These don't even be refrigerated. These are just sitting out on the counter in there. They didn't have any of the other red worms that I'd been getting, the ones you got to refrigerate. They didn't even have them. They was out. I don't know what's different about these. I guess they're grown in a warmer climate or something. I don't know. Bombs away. Can't be missing no more fish, man. That's on y'all on that one. It's your turn to reel it in, and you missed him. You know me, I've never missed a fish in my life. I'm curious to see if this one's got the worm on there or not. I bet you we lost the worm when it got tugged on. Yep, sure did. The hook, I use number 6 hooks on them other rigs. This one here is a different hook. It's a Gamakatsu G Carp hook. It's a number 4 size. And I don't know if maybe that's part of our problem. Maybe it's easier for them to get the worm off of this hook. I don't know. Some small channel cats or possibly some bluegill out there too, potentially eating our worms. They just sit there and just peck at it and nip at it and rip it apart. They can make quick work of it. Maybe should have got some night crawlers, maybe. Been a little bit bigger worm. Wasn't thinking about it at the time. I feel like we've done better with the red worms than we have the night crawlers. Maybe it's just we've done better because that's what I've been using. Hard to do better with something when you ain't been using it. Yeah, we done reeled them two in. Let's go ahead and reel this one in too. We got a stick on this one. How the hell y'all caught that? There it went. Good thing we checked it. It ain't got no worm either. It even had our corn messed up on there. I didn't even know nothing had hit that rod. All right. About to have everything rebaited again. I'm gonna want y'all to watch these rods this time. I need y'all to pay attention. Quit letting these fish rip us off out here. We ain't never gonna catch another fish if we ain't got no bait on the hook. It's a small worm right there. We got ripped off on these worms. There ain't nothing fat or juicy about them. False advertisement's what that is. All right, that one back out. But yeah, folks, I don't know what's going to happen with the kayak fishing industry. It's certainly not going away. It's growing. But I think there's probably going to be potentially some kayak brands that go away. And honestly, like you take Wilderness Systems, they're coming out with that new kayak there in the spring for bow mount motors. They're a company that I'm honestly surprised is still in business at all anyway. What the hell have they come out with in years? They're a company you completely forget about. Because they haven't had anything innovative or really different in forever. They had a pedal drive, it's awful. There's nothing special about their kayaks. They're Feel Free. Their pedal drive system was kind of a dud. I can see companies like, you take like a Vibe kayaks, they're a lower end brand. Those kind of companies will survive just because of the amount of features you get for a cheap kayak. That's appealing to a lot of people. I think Hobie will stick around because a lot of people love their pedal drive. You may not love the Hobie kayak, but a lot of people love the pedal drive. Me personally, I like the bicycle style, like Old Town or a Native. Those are more comfortable for me, but I'm in the minority on that. Most people I know prefer the Hobie pedal drive motion. So that'll keep them, regardless of their issues with quality, that'll keep them in business for people wanting that pedal drive. And Old Town will stick around because they're the best quality kayaks, at least currently, I think, as far as the hull goes. But the other companies, man, I don't know. Native's pretty popular. A Native and Bonafide, they're all in the same parent brand there, so. But I could see some companies going away in the next few years. I don't know that you're going to see any more companies necessarily popping up. I think it's a kind of a tough business to get in right now. But I could see some going away, that's for sure. And it's the thing with me, and I've talked about this some in the past, and I know I sound like a complete hypocrite when I do too, because here I am about to build this Bonafide kayak with the power pole motor and 36-volt battery and all this crap, and I'm like, why do I do this? Because the most fun trips I have are always when I'm in a simple setup, like my Old Town kayak, the pedal drive, 2 rods, physical anchor. Man, I have so much fun on those trips. Like when I think back to like memorable trips, it's those situations, individual fish fights in those kind of, I call them kayaks. You know, that when you've got a kayak like I'm in today, the Hobie Pro Angler, it's a kayak by label, but is it? I mean, this thing's huge. That Bonafide that I'm about to get, it's huge. At what point do they stop being kayaks and start being plastic boats? And so the most fun I have kayak fishing is when I'm in a kayak that's actually like a kayak. Because I'm one of them people, I actually enjoy kayak fishing. That's what got me into kayak fishing, was the fact that it was fun to catch fish in a kayak. So, I don't know, I question why I do. Like, why am I know why I do it, how I'm keeping up with the Joneses. I don't even like people named Jones, but I feel compelled in the kayak world to keep up with it. I need a kayak with all the bells and whistles. And I feel like I need it, but I don't need it. Like you take this year's tournament scene. Again, I fished 7 tournaments this year, right? All over different states. We had the first tournament down there on Pickwick and Wilson in Alabama. I won that one. Second one was on Chickamauga. I finished second. Third one on Nickajack. I finished 4th. Then, was it Hoover next? I think it was Hoover. I won. Louisiana, I won. And then Santee Cooper, I finished next to last. Take all of my fish caught, all of my finishes. Did I need this kayak and that motor to do it? Now, the first tournament down there in Alabama, I was dragging. That's how I was catching fish. Having the motor doing that makes that much easier. So, would I have caught fish without the motor? I probably would have caught some. Would I have caught enough to win? I don't know. So maybe the motor gave me a big advantage in that tournament. I'm trying to think, the Chickamauga tournament, I did well. I'm trying to think what I did in that tournament. I can't remember if I dragged or suspended. I anchored. That's what I done. I anchored in that tournament. Yeah, I anchored. Yeah, that's what I done, because I tried dragging that area, and I kept getting snagged, and I ended up anchoring. I could have done that without this. I could have done that in a regular kayak and caught the same fish. The Nickajack tournament was a disaster. That was the one I fell down the boat ramp, lost my bait out the bucket. Like, it was a disaster. How the hell I finished fourth in that, I don't know. That was the biggest thing for me all year, was a fourth place finish that I didn't even cash in, was the fact that I somehow grinded it out and got a fourth place finish on a tournament where everything went wrong for me. I mean, the Santee Cooper tournament, I finished next to last. Sure, things went wrong, but at least I caught the biggest fish and I still got a check from it. But the Nickajack tournament, like, just getting up to fourth place with everything, falling down the boat ramp, like down neck deep into the water, couldn't get back up the damn thing, trying to climb back in the kayak, losing my bait over the side, losing half my day to thunderstorms. Like, it was a disaster of the day. The fact I got fourth place, that was a miracle in itself. But I could have done that without this motor and without a big kayak. I could have done the same thing, got the same fish. The Hoover tournament, I'll make the argument I would have done better in a normal kayak, because I caught my two biggest fish anchor fishing at the end of the day. I had been dragging all day and trolling, and I got some fish, but I finally, just as a Hail Mary, trying to get lucky at the end, the final hour, I anchored, and I got my two biggest fish, and I won the tournament. Well, guess what? Had I been in a normal kayak, I'd have been anchored all day, and so I'd already been in that spot. I'm pretty sure our left rod was getting tapped. And once again, I turn the camera over there, and it stops. No, he's back after it again. I ain't imagined that, folks. You see it. I'm going to jerk his jaw in a second. You think he's got it? The line's bouncing around. I'm going to pick up on it, and we'll see if I feel any weight on there, I'm going to jerk his jaw. I just pulled that damn pole out, too. Power pole shifted on us. I'm about to jerk his jaw, folks. Uh-oh, this one's getting hit now. Oh, I pulled it out of whatever had it. I botched that one. That one there got tapped. Didn't get her worm. No, he didn't get the worm. Well, at least we saved the worm. We didn't get the fish, but we saved the worm. I'm gonna pack this on, and we're gonna continue on with this thought exercise of why I feel like I need to keep up with the Joneses and have the latest and greatest technology. But yet, I don't really need it. Mentally, I need it, but I actually don't need it. And I don't know how to fix that in my own mind. We're going to work on it. We're going to have a therapy session here together as soon as I get this worm on. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can get that thing tightened up there. I'm going to tighten that one back up. All right. So anyway, the Hoover tournament, had I not had this kayak with the motor, I would have spent all day doing what actually won me the tournament. So I think I would have still won regardless. The Louisiana tournament, I did win in my pedal kayak with a basic setup, 2 rods and a dumbbell anchor. I won the damn thing. And the last tournament there, Santee Cooper, I don't think I could have done any worse. I wouldn't have fished where I ultimately went because I couldn't have made the long run in my pedal kayak. I would have needed the motor for sure. But based on how I did, finishing next to last place, I certainly didn't need to go to that spot. It was a dumb move to go there, clearly, based on the result. So, if I'd just been in a basic pedal kayak, the one thing that might have changed the Santee Cooper tournament, maybe I don't get the biggest fish that day. And so I don't get that check from that, maybe. So I don't know. I don't know that me having the motor and the GPS and the live scope for damn sure hasn't helped me at all this year. I don't know that this stuff really truly helps me. I feel like I need it mentally because I can't have other people having stuff that I don't have in tournaments. But at the same time too, like I don't know that it really helps me. And part of me, there's a big part of me, and I've talked about doing this and just haven't done it. Don't know that I ever would do it, but it's a fun, just kind of fantasy thing to think about. Is what if next year I just fished the whole, it'd be really stupid to buy this bona fide kayak and the fancy motor for it and the fancy trailer to haul it and then not use it. Then go to these tournaments and fish with a basic pedal kayak. But part of me's thought about doing that. Spending a full tournament season in a basic kayak and see how it goes. Would I compete for Angler of the Year? Probably not. But I think I'd be competitive in I think I'd have a chance in every tournament. I don't think I would just get dominated. So I don't know. It's one of them things. It's like everybody makes the assumption, and I've heard this. People criticize me on social media and YouTube comment box and stuff that I only catch fish because of all these gadgets and whatnot I got. And, I could see why they would make that argument, looking at the situation from the outside, looking in, like, oh yeah, Justin catches all these fish and he has all these gadgets and stuff. Well, of course that's why. But just myself, knowing, having fished in the past without all that stuff and having it now, I don't feel like it makes me better. It makes some things easier. It's certainly easier as these crows fly by. Y'all say hi to the crows. It certainly makes it easier to hit spot lock than it is to deal with a physical anchor. Sure. It's easier if you're working a brake line up a ledge, it's easier to hit the button on the remote than it is to pedal and keep yourself on that brake line. So it makes some things easier, but I don't know that it necessarily makes you better. And honestly, let's say I did that for the sake of this conversation. Let's say I did decide to fish an entire tournament season with a basic kayak setup. How would I fish? Well, honestly, I probably wouldn't drag at all. I would probably anchor fish every single tournament. And a lot of people have gotten away from anchor fishing. A lot of these new guys coming in the sport, they're repulsed by the idea of dropping an anchor. But say what you want about it, whether you like it or not, most of the biggest catfish caught historically have been caught while anchor fishing. or bank fishing, which is basically the same thing, where you're casting baits out from the bank. They're setting on bottom. There was a carp right there in front of us over there. But it's the same thing, whether you're anchor fishing in a boat or kayak, or you are bank fishing, you're casting baits out, they're setting on bottom. I wonder if that's that carp right there. We just saw him come up over here in front of this rod, and something, I'm gonna pick up on this thing. My line's jumping around all every which way. I don't know if he's got it or not. I don't feel anything now. I don't know what's going on with this. I saw a carp jump up right there. Y'all seen it. And my line started bouncing, but it ain't doing nothing now. Let me tighten down a little bit, see if I feel anything. Something's hitting that damn worm. I think it might be a bluegill or something. We got a bluegill. That's what it was. You know what, bluegill? You just had a bad day. You know why? Because we about to put us a live bait on our catfish rod over here. What the hell's this bird got going on behind us? Bird's going crazy back there. Yeah, bluegill, you've made a terrible mistake. We about to put us a live bait out there in place of that piece of perch. We about to make a change, folks. I sure was hoping that was going to be the carp that had hold of this thing. We know there's a carp out there, though, because I saw him come up and surface over there. I don't know what's up with these fish. I mean, every day's a new puzzle to figure out, but there a couple weeks ago, before I'd left, I did them back-to-back days on this spot, and one day, lights out, man. Catching everything, bunch of them, nice fish. Next day, can't hardly buy a fish. And so I don't know. Did you see all them shad right there? They all scattered when that line hit. I must have threw right on a school of them. But I mean, I don't understand carp. I don't have a good understanding of how they move, how they're doing things. Like, I just don't. It's one of them things I've been in the process of learning the last few years, but I just ain't there yet to be able to tell you with any certainty how fish are going to be, where they're going to be, when they're going to feed, all that. It's kind of me. I just show up, I do what I do, and I kind of just hope to get lucky. I'm a pretty lucky person in life. I ain't felt lucky this past week while I've been sick, but I feel a little bit luckier today. Now that we got us a bluegill, we're gonna throw a live bait out there, ain't we? Okay. That bluegill made a big mistake. Big mistake, bluegill. Okay. Let me put our poles back down here. Every time I move, the poles come out. Yeah, folks, it's an interesting thought perspective. And of course, well, there's that bird again. I wish y'all holler at that bird, tell him to shut up, because he's a little bit obnoxious. But You know, like, well, there was a splash right here beside us. That line's slack too. Hard to watch for bites when the line was that slack. That daggone bird, man. But yeah, I'm on the way home, South Carolina tournament. I'm just thinking about this. I'm like, here I have hauled this damn Hobie over there all week. I've lugged a battery up through the hotel every night. And I get out there on tournament day, and what does it do for me? I catch one damn fish all day. Like, you telling me I couldn't do that without all the technology and out all the batteries? I believe me, I can go out and get skunked without this damn kayak. I don't need fancy technology to get myself skunked. So, I don't know. It's one of them things, you just play mind games yourself, but come next tournament season and I've got this fancy new bona fide kayak and the 36 volt motor, I'm sure I'll be fishing out of it, but part of me just wonders what would happen. What if? How good could I do with a basic kayak and 2 rods? You see that a lot too with people. I think especially new people get in the sport, and I hate to see that, honestly. New people coming in and they feel like they have to have all this stuff. And it ain't even about like thinking they need it to be competitive. I hate that they think they need it just to catch fish, because you don't. If you're fishing tournaments, I mean, and you got to cover water, you want to cover water, you know, having the motor certainly helps. But man, you can go out and catch fish in a paddle kayak. Our left rod here. Look here, our left rod. Something's after that again. Something tugged on it, I promise you it did. Well, the kayak's moving a little bit because the wind's blowing, but I swear I think that was a fish that hit it. Every time I turn the camera over there, it quits though. It's like it knows it's being watched. Next year will be interesting too as far as the tournament goes. I don't know how many I'll be fishing next year, so if y'all haven't heard this, here's the current plan of what they're going to do in the tournament scene next year. So this year, most of the farthest tournament away, well, at least for me anyway, was Louisiana. But everything was Mississippi River and east. Well, one of the guys that fishes the tournament, well, we've got actually 2 guys that fish the tournaments. Andrew Green in Texas. He drives from Texas to these tournaments, man. He's putting in 20 hours oftentimes driving. I mean, it's crazy. And there's another guy from Kansas, and he come to every tournament. And so they obviously want some tournaments closer to home where they're at. And the plan for next year, this year, you just had to fish. They had our schedule here, everything, Mississippi River and east. You had to fish 5 tournaments to qualify for Angler of the Year. It scored your best 5, right? And we had 9 total tournaments on the schedule. Next year, okay, here we go. Here we go on this rod. Something was tugging on it. Better not be another damn bluegill. I'm gonna jerk his jaw. I got something. I got something, y'all. I don't know what. I got something though. It might be another channel cat or something. It is. It's another daggone channel cat. Y'all go ahead and take over. Reel this one in here. I don't even want to fool with it. I don't want to get my hands wet unhooking this thing. I ought to throw him out there as a live bait's what I ought to do. There's a big flathead working up in here. It might be chow time. Come on in here, channel kitty. Well, I didn't get him in, did I? All these small cats, though, have been channels. We haven't got any small blues yet. And in some other trips through here, we have gotten some blues. So that's a little interesting. This channel cat, but he's about to get super upset with me because I'm going to get the worm back. I ain't feeding no channel cat. You go back home, you think about what you've done, channel cat. I want you to write an essay. You remember when we were kids in school, you had to write penalty? I will not cuss out the teacher. You have to write that 100 times or something. So I'm gonna do with that channel cat, but he can't write. He ain't got no hands. And even if he did have hands, he ain't got no chalkboard down there because the chalk would just wash away in the water there. He couldn't write on the chalkboard. I will not cuss out my teacher 100 times because the chalk would dissolve. I don't know how we're going to punish that fish. Oh, fish. I just looked up. This is more what we want right here. This is what we want right here, folks. I'll go ahead and handle this one myself. He was burning and churning, buddy. Now let's hope we don't get any other lines over there. Burning and churning. He had the heel to the steel. I bet it's a carp. Looks like it's yellow, best I can see through my sunglasses. And is he in my line? Or my other rod just getting hit? Can't tell. Yep, it is a carp. This rod moved. I can't tell if this fish was in the line or if something hit it. No, that ain't. That's a buffalo. That's a boy, boy, he was fighting hard. Them buffalo usually don't make the runs like that. Okay, folks. Okay, we got us another one here. Okay. You come over here now. You come over here. Oh, I didn't get him. You come over here, buffalo. Come over here. Get that net. Boy, this one's fired up, buddy. That's wild. This one right here is wild as all get out. Oh, man. All right. You know what I'd like to do? Well, if y'all's a fishing partner worth a damn, you'd already have this other line cast back out, but I'd like to go ahead and cast it out before we land this fish because I've got this stuff in the way. I've got to put another worm on there, don't I? We got half a worm. Let's go ahead, get this one cast back out before we land the buffalo. When we get him done, we'll check this other rod because I don't know if it got hit or if it's just him hitting the line. Could go either way, but the fact we ain't got a fish on it tells me we probably ain't got a worm on it. And we've learned today, if we ain't got a worm on the hook, well, we're just out of luck. Okay. Well, I need a helping hand here, folks. Y'all don't let that fish flop out the net. go. All right, now we're ready. Get our couple worms out of the way. Bring him on in, why don't we? Bring him on in here. It's a little bigger than the first one, folks. You think this one will let me get a picture with him? I don't know if he will. I don't know if he will, but we'll certainly try. I can't get that hook out. Oh, He splashed water or slime right in my mouth. Either way, it tastes nasty. I don't know what it is. There we go. There we got it. Let's set that out of the way. Here, y'all try to take a picture of this fish with me real quick before he goes crazy and flops out on me. Hopefully this will be more cooperative than the last one. There we go. Yes. Got another one, y'all, another buffalo. That's awesome, man. That's two. I love these fish. I don't know why, but I do. It's always such a treat to catch them. It's always such a surprise because I never know. Even if I see them, half the time I ain't gonna catch them. We got this in here though, buddy. And he took all, I thought it was probably a carp. Oh, I splashed myself in the face. Dang fish. But I thought it was a carp the way he was pulling. Y'all have caught enough buffalo, and you've seen me catch enough buffalo now to know that they usually don't make them runs like that. They're usually, oftentimes it seems like they hit I got water running down my glasses, dripping down my face. But it seems like they hit the bait and sit there with it or come knock slack in it. And oftentimes I've caught some of them buffalo and thought they were channel cats. It's weird to have one that bolts like that and just runs super hard, but hey, I'll take it, buddy. That's awesome. I'll fist pump that one. Let's go ahead and just get this thing back on. What we got? Where's our line at here? What's going on? There we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and rebait this one, and we're going to reel in that other middle one there too, and just check it, make sure. If it was a fish that hit it, he didn't hook up, and our worm's probably gone. That's a good sign, man. Good sign. Worm's still on this thing, but I'm going to put another one on too. I don't know that having two worms is a bad thing. If one worm is good, two must be better. As I've got everything wrapped around everything here. There we go. I felt the power pole give. There we go. All right, let's launch this thing out. One down, one to go, folks. Let's go ahead and do this one. Hopefully it's still got the worm on there, but I got 2 tubs of worms that I went to the store. We ain't running out, so it really don't matter. Yeah, the worm was gone. Something obviously got it. We had some worm thieves today. Maybe bluegill down there stealing them worms. It's a good possibility. it ain't so much the worms getting stolen. Obviously we got plenty of worms. That ain't an issue. But what I hate is to have the hook sitting there bare when we could have another line out there with a worm on it. Yes, we've still got our plastic corn here, which gives us another option. I do think that's helpful. I've caught a fair amount of fish without putting more, but this year I really started focusing more on the worms, and it's made a big difference. Number of catches and fish caught and size of fish caught. I feel like we've got better quality carp overall this year using the worms than what I did in the last couple years, where I have mostly used the plastic artificial baits. Could this be right place, right time situation? But I mean, if nothing else, I've developed a ton of confidence with using worms as the primary carp and buffalo bait. All right, let's get this stuff set up out of the way here. Now let's kick back and relax and try to keep these power poles in place. They do not like this hard rocky bottom that we are apparently in with where we're sitting right now. I am going to put this hood back over my head because that wind is still chilly this morning. Yesterday, I was ultralight fishing, and it was a comfortable day even right from the start. But today, just a little bit chilly. And that wind's making it feel even chillier. What was I talking about? Before all that happened, we got the channel cat and we got the buffalo, and I lost my train of thought. I think I was talking about the simplicity versus all these gadgets. What I hate is, that's what I was talking about. What I hate is you see new people get in the sport, and they see people like me and the other tournament guys, and they're using these high dollar rigs and fancy motors and live scopes, and they think, man, I got to have that. It's the only way I'm going to catch fish like those guys. And it just ain't true. You can make an argument that these things are beneficial in a tournament situation, fishing competitively. Maybe it gives you some edge on maybe not every tournament, but maybe in certain situations you have an edge that others won't have if they don't have it, sure. But just on normal fishing, just normal going out and fun fishing, having a good time, you don't need all this stuff. And I hope I fish enough videos or enough trips making videos in my basic setup there with my Old Town kayak and a basic graph, 2 rods. I hope I've done that enough to kind of give people hope and confidence enough that they can go do it too without the need of all the stuff. I mean, look, if a person wants to get in the sport and you want all of those things, sure, go for it. It's your money, do whatever the hell you want to with it. But I don't want anybody feeling like they have to have that stuff just to go out and catch fish. Because you can catch fish on a very minimal setup. Very minimal. Oh, something just hit that left rod already. Well, another situation. He hits it, I turn the camera around that way, and he ain't gonna hit it again. They just try to make me look like a liar. But nevertheless, folks, I know myself. I talk about keeping things simple, and then I go rig up a kayak with all the bells and whistles, and I'll talk about going to the tournaments next year and and just fishing a bare bones basic setup, and then I'll show up with all the bells and whistles. Maybe I was talking about tournaments. Maybe that's what I was talking about. Because our tournaments are changing next year. Yeah, that's what I was talking about before the fish interrupted. So this year, Angler of the Year, you got to fish at least 5 tournaments. Scores your 5 best scores. Okay. Next year, because we've had these guys that are from out west coming east, they're dividing it up. So next year, the current plan is to have 10 tournaments, 5 on each side of the Mississippi. And to compete for Angler of the Year, you will have to fish at least 5 tournaments, and one of them will have to be from the opposite side of the Mississippi River that you live on. So me living in Tennessee, I would have to go west of the Mississippi for at least 1 tournament to be competitive. Now, you can fish all 10 if you want to, but you're going to have 15, 20-hour drives probably, because I imagine some of them will be in Texas and some in Oklahoma and some in Kansas and yada, yada, yada. And that's a long drive to go fish for catfish, when I can drive 12 hours and fish for sharks. So it's hard to get motivated for that. I don't know how many, if any, I'll do. I guess we'll see how I'm doing. I guess we'll see. I assume I'll fish the tournaments that are east of the Mississippi, because they'll be more convenient. If I'm doing well in those and it looks like I can be competitive for the Angler of the Year, maybe I make a trip out west. Or here's another thing, and this is a bit unethical, but I don't know that there would necessarily be a rule against this. Let me run this by you and see what you think. So if Angler of the Year scores your 5 best tournaments, and you have to fish at least 1 tournament on the other side of the Mississippi, and maybe this will come down to how it's worded, the language of it. If it scores your 5 best and you only have to fish 1 tournament on the other side of the Mississippi, what's to say you actually have to fish it? Why can't you just pay your entry fee, sign up for it, not show up? Technically, you're on the roster. You'll score 50 points basically. You know, our tournaments, we get first place, you get 100 points, second place 99, third 98, on down. If you skunk in the tournament, you only get 50 points. So in order to get those, finishing last place, whatever 90-something points maybe it is, if say you got 10 people, you're only going to get 50 because of the being skunked. You have to score a fish to get the full points in the tournament. But if the language of the Angler of the Year points race rules, if it is worded in such a way that it just scores your 5 best tournaments and that you have to fish 1 tournament on the other side, then there'll be nothing to say that you couldn't just take your 5 tournaments on your side of the Mississippi, score those if you did really well, and then just sign up for one of the other ones, pay your entry fee, not go to it, and that. But I mean, it would be, you'd have to do really well in the 5 tournaments that you've got on your side of the Mississippi River to be competitive. But it would save you, there was a splash right there in front of us. It would save you from having to go to Kansas or Nebraska or Texas or making that long drive, and still allow you the opportunity potentially. I don't know that that's particularly ethical, but I've known, I mean, there's been situations in the local bass fishing clubs where you have to fish a certain number of tournaments in order to qualify for their classic at the end of the year. And so there's a bunch of deer running through the woods over there. Y'all won't be able to hear them. Well, there's one right there at the edge of the water. There he goes. 2 of them. That one's got horns. That one's got antlers right there. Old Bambi. But I mean, I've known bass fishermen, if you got to fish a certain number of events to qualify for the Classic, they'll just do that. They'll sign up, pay the entry fee, and just not show up at the tournament. And then because they have technically participated in a certain number of events, they're able to qualify for the Classic. We got something working in this rod right here. Something knocked some slack in it. Now something was after that one. We need us a good double. Yeah. I don't know what hit them. Yeah, this is something to think about. I just don't have a great desire to travel that far west. I mean, the Louisiana tournament, it was a long drive, but we had other opportunities. Saltwater fish, alligator gar. There was other stuff to fish for down there in addition to the catfish. So it was kind of a vacation type trip for me. But just going out, if I go to Kansas, no offense to anybody who lives in Kansas, but what the hell else are you going to do other than catfish? Or Oklahoma or Nebraska. Like, there's really nothing else there to fish for other than the catfish that you're going there for the tournament for. And I just don't have a great desire to drive 15, 20 hours to fish for catfish. I just don't. I like fishing for catfish, but hell, if I can do it 10 minutes from my house, why drive 15 hours? I'm not that into it, I guess. If I'm going to drive that far, I want to do something that I don't typically have access to. Or have it a situation like when we went to Louisiana there on the Mississippi River, where it's kind of a world-renowned fishery. You've got a chance for huge fish, that type of situation. And there's some big fish in some of them rivers and lakes out there in Kansas and Nebraska and Oklahoma and stuff, but I mean, they're not like, it's not world-renowned. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And well, something's knocked slack in this line again here. Something gave that a little, or it was just me moving in the kayak maybe. I wonder if we ain't got another bluegill or something on here. I'm gonna hold this and see if I got, something's on there. We got something. Maybe another channel cat or something. Well, there's another deer over there on the bank too. All kinds of deer running around. It's hunting season. I hope if somebody fires at Bambi, they don't miss and hit me. What is this right here? Is this a channel cat? Is that what this is? Whatever it is pulling. Hell, the way these fish have fought today, it could be anything. We've been fooled numerous times. I don't know what this is yet. No, that's a buffalo. Boy, that's an ugly one too, right there. He's dark. Again, I thought it was a channel cat. It's a buffalo. The last one I thought was a carp, and it was a buffalo, just took off running. This one's gonna wait till he gets in the net to fight right here. Come on in, buffalo. You didn't fight at all. He's actually probably the biggest buffalo of the morning here, and he didn't fight at all. You old thing. Don't you start fighting now either, just because you're in the kayak here. Don't you even start. You just lay there and be as calm as you were as we were reeling you in. I can't see where that hook goes in at. don't you do it. I just ripped the worm off. I can't see where that hook goes in at. Can't figure out which way I need to pull it out from. What in tarnation? There it comes. Okay. I'm gonna take my glasses off a second. That one is darker. It ain't just my glasses. He's a darker color right there. Once again, y'all, get me a picture of this. Y'all play photographer up there in the front seat. Yes, y'all, we got another buffalo. No. Come here now. Come here now. You sit there and be good. Let me get my picture. Yeah, this one's significantly darker, it seems like, at least on this side of him. What a weak fight, though. I thought for sure it was a channel cat. I mean, I saw my line bouncing right there and I knew something was on it. I'm like, I'm gonna set the hook on a damn bluegill or channel cat. No, it's a buffalo, possibly right up there, if not the biggest of the morning so far. You never know what you're gonna get with these buffalo. See you, buddy. You never know. You don't know when you pick up, you don't know if it's gonna be a huge fish or small. You just don't know. The biggest buffalo I've caught, my personal best, I was convinced it was a channel cat up until I seen it. And it was huge. I mean, it was way bigger than that. It was massive. I got the video on my channel. It was a couple years ago. But yeah, I mean, it fought the whole way like a damn channel cat. Like it barely fought at all. But it was huge. You just never know. Those buffalo, they vary so much. You just don't know what you're getting. Let's do it again, though. I know that. I want to do another one. It ain't been this morning's session out here. It's not been a lights out session. We're not getting a ton of action. We're kind of getting a fish here, a fish there. But when we roll out of here today, we will have caught several fish. It's going to end up being a productive day. I'm happy that these fish are still here, though, with the water drop and all. And I wonder, too, if maybe the fishing would be better. We're obviously not going to test this out because I ain't going to fish but another hour or two probably. But I wonder if the fishing would be better in the afternoons when the sun's out and it's had time to heat up the water a little more. Because with the cooler nights, I'm sure the water temperature's dropping a few degrees at night and then heating up a few degrees in the afternoons. I mean, that's just common sense. Shallow water cools off, heats up and cools off quicker. So I wonder if more of them don't come in the afternoons. The only way to test it would be actually get out and fish in some afternoons, but I'm not going to do that today. We're going to fish the morning hours. And I'm going to go home then and try to get some pain medicine into this cat. See if I can get him to pretend to like me again. I can't blame him for not liking me. I mean, I did take him to the vet where his nuts were cut off. Like that's, if somebody done that to me, I'm never going to like them again. There's no going back from that. Like we'll never bond again. If you have me castrated, me and you's never going to be friends. So I get it if the cat decides to hate me forever. I hope he don't, but I get it. But I do want to try to get some pain medicine in him when I get home. And for damn sure wasn't happening this morning. He's got to come around eventually. One would think. I don't know about these cats. You think our live bluegill over here is going to get eaten at some point? I don't know. The fact that we haven't gotten any blue cats on our worms makes me think that maybe the blues aren't, because in the past when we've gotten bigger blue, and when we've gotten our either live bait or cut bait, whatever we're eating, we've had some smaller blues eat our worms on the carp rigs. We've had none of that today. So that's a little concerning that there may not be any blues in here. If we got something on the left rod here, I see my line. My line's getting tight, but I can't tell if it may be the wind. Maybe that's the wind moving it. Our kayak shifted a little bit. When the power poles come free, we're facing more this way now than we were, pretty sure. Every time I lean forward, the poles pop up, and then if the wind's blowing, then it moves us a little bit. It spins the other one around. I wonder, well, I don't guess it'll matter. When I do the bona fide setup, assuming I go with the board like this across, now let's say our seat was up here and we were spinning around facing back this way. I'm wondering if these poles will get in our way. I mean, we can use those bases, those rod holders right there, and angle them out, but we might have to navigate around the poles when we're reeling in fish and stuff. I'll probably start out with that. Try it, see how it goes. We may end up, I mean, the power pole's got to go somewhere. I have to put them somewhere. They're going to be in the way regardless, but I have to have some way to anchor the kayak in these shallow water situations. Now, once the water's down, we'll have a bank access again. But right now, when the water goes up to the edge and you've got all this brush and everything overgrown, or like on this side, you got somebody's yard over here. I don't want to be up in somebody's yard, and I can't do anything with the brush. So it's like, what do? You got to have some way to anchor your kayak and keep yourself still. Now, you can use a physical anchor and rope, do one on the front, one on the back, but you're going to move a little bit. Not only are you going to move a little bit side to side, but you're going to move this way every time you shift your weight in the kayak, which again is going to pull. There was a buffalo over there. I saw him. I was looking that way. I saw him. But when you move like this, shifting your weight in the kayak, you're going to move your lines. And I want them setting still out there. Whether I'm fishing for carp, buffalo, whatever, even catfish. I don't want them moving all over creation when I've got them cast out. So I need a way to keep myself, and these power poles have done a good job for the most part. It's not the best setup if you're trying to fish in the main channel and you're getting hit with boat wake, because God forbid one pole give and the other hold while you're getting pounded with wake, you're going to end up sideways. Been there, done that. Don't use them in that situation no more. But in these backwater creeks, which is where I'm fishing at 99.9% of the time, for the carp and buffalo, like, it's perfect for this. It's the best solution I found anyway. Now, I saw a guy on a video. I forget who it was. I'd give him credit. He went all out on this setup. I mean, it was pretty damn impressive. He put their power poles, what are they, talons? It's like a bass boat where they're on the back and they go down. They like fold out and go down. He put a set of those on the back of a kayak. We got one right, okay, right, this rod. He's something swimming with it. We're about to jerk his jaw. Got him. I saw my line swimming. Who knows what this is though? Is it a buffalo fighting like a channel cat? Is it actually a channel cat? I don't know. We're in for a treat though, folks. We're in for a surprise. He went over the other line and didn't get in it, I don't think. Got lucky with that. It feels like a fairly solid fish, which makes me think it's probably not a channel cat. But it ain't fighting hard, so could it be another buffalo? We just saw one over there a minute ago. It is another buffalo. Man, we're on some buffalo today, y'all. They're in here. This is great. Oh, he's gonna take off now, ain't he? Come over here, buffalo. You get over here now. This is a smaller one right here, but hell, I'm still happy. I wonder if it's the one we just saw. I wonder if it is, because I saw him come up the surface over there. He was near the bait. Eye in the sky up here. Me. Both eyes in the sky, got him. Caught him in the act. You wanted to come on this side of the kayak, buffalo, you just get over here and get landed on this side. You've went around the net. Go back the other way. Go back the other way. There you go. Now come around and get in the net. There it is. We got him coached up right there. We got him coached up. That fish right there can follow instructions. Some fish can't, this one can. He's got potential. This fish is going places in life, folks. This one's going places. Yeah, fish, I like you. Now I need you to calm down now, fish. You gotta follow some more instructions to use indoor behavior here. All right, man. Got that out the way. We got our net hung on that corn again. Well, let's set y'all back up here. How awesome is that, y'all? We got us another one. This one ain't very big, but boy, that one was real dark. And this one here, oh, he's ornery is what he is. I was trying to say he's real pale. No, quit. Hey, he didn't use no energy at all as we was reeling him in. So he's full of energy now. I can't get hold of the thing. I can't get hold of him. Hey, quit that. Quit it. Lord. This fish used no energy on the fight, and he saved it all for right now. I complimented him. That was a huge mistake. How cooperative he was and following instructions. He don't follow any instructions. Come here. Act like somebody. Quit that. You know what we're gonna do? Watch this. Let me get all this damn slime off my hands. I don't even want a picture with this fish. I don't even want it. I don't need it. I'm gonna get all this 3 pounds of slime off. He's got water on the lens, looks like too up there. I got 3 pounds of slime on my hands right now. Here's what we're gonna do. I ain't dealing with you, fish. Here's what we're gonna do. Watch this. Watch this. You can just get out like that then. That's what you can do, fish. Get on out. Get on, you dummy. You swimming into the net. Get on it. Oh. Well, he got me all right. He got me good. Lord, boy, that net is slimed up. Look how all that slime on that net. They are the slimiest fish. Way slimier than a catfish. Well, I've got a mess now. I got this hook in the net again. There we go. Give me a second here, folks. Bear with me as I get the hook out. Y'all let that fish get all wrapped up in it here. I need a better... there has to be I need a net with bigger holes in the mesh. You know what I mean? Like that way these hooks wouldn't get all wrapped up in this stuff. There's got to be a net with bigger mesh. There has to be. Has to exist. Oh, he done it good. He had already got it in there, and then I let him go in it, which probably didn't help. Okay. I think we're making progress with it here now. Boy, what a ornery old fish. I was giving that fish way too much credit. I thought, man, he's so calm. He went into the net for me. I'm like, this fish is the bee's knees, man. Somebody's raised this fish right. Compliment to this fish's parents. But it was all an act. It was all an act. He lulled me in and then stuck it to me once he got in here. I mean, I couldn't get hold of the thing. He saved all his energy. Okay, I think we got it. We got it. Hot diggity dog, we got it. Look at all that slime. Goodness gracious, that's a lot of slime. Okay. All right. I think we're ready to bait up again. Let me get the water off the lens here from y'all. He got y'all too, didn't he? That may be slime on there, actually. I don't know what the hell that is. Let me get it this way. It's dried on there, whatever it is now. I can't get it. Y'all need to clean your own face is what you need to do. All right, let's try that again. Actually, we're about to try it right now because this rod right here is getting tugged, is he not? I think something's got this one. By gosh, it does. All right, now this might actually be a channel cat here, potentially. This one's small. I can't tell, it's small. No, it is, it's a buffalo. It's a tiny buffalo, though. This one's a little old thing. Boy, he's taking off now. Look at him go. He's got some speed. All right, this one here. You go ahead and get your energy out before you come in this time, buffalo. We ain't having a repeat of the last one. All right. Well, you know what? Let me set you there a minute. You just wear yourself out while I get rebaited. That's the smallest one of the day right there. That might be one of the smallest ones I've ever caught. Business has picked up here, folks. The sun's come out. It's starting to slightly warm up. And all of a sudden here, we're getting a little bit more action, ain't we? Better late than never, fish. I guess y'all slept in today. Somebody's been commenting on my videos, and I'd shout him out. I can't remember the screen name, but seems to be pretty knowledgeable on buffalo and carp and stuff. And he's saying these buffalo will come in. If you're catching carp, and then you start catching buffalo, the buffalo's rooted out them carp. they'll run them off and feeding in an area. So I guess probably the buffalo is probably maybe the more dominant of the fish, maybe. If that's the proper way of saying it. Or maybe they just stink and are real slimy and carp don't want to deal with them. Maybe that's it. I'm used to slime, I guess, because of the catfish, although these buffalo are significantly more slimy than catfish. I wonder if I can just boat lift this one in. No bigger than he is. I think we can. Let's bring him in like that. Won't even have to use a net. This right here, I bet you if you had this as a live bait, you'd probably catch you an 80-pound flathead on this thing. Because I bet you some flatheads eat buffalo that size all the time. I ain't giving you front camera time, buffalo. Sorry about your luck. There you go. Well, that fish. He got upset he wasn't getting his front camera time. He said, "I'll just get on out here." He said, "I'm gonna slime up your rod." Look at that. Look at all that slime on my rod. He said, "I'm gonna slime it up on the way out, Justin." The old fish. Nasty old thing. Well, he didn't get a worm. He got gypped, buddy. He didn't get front camera time, and he didn't get the worm. Still on there. Get that slime off there. Let me take a look. I think that worm will be good enough. We'll send it back out. We'll send it back out. Put a little more pack bait on there. Boy, I've lost count now how many buffalo we got. It's been a handful of them, though. That's awesome, man. We've had a good day. I like catching buffalo. And I know carp fishermen don't typically like buffalo, and carp certainly fight harder than buffalo. But if you gave me the choice, and I could choose to catch either one, I would pick buffalo. I would choose them over the carp. Now, maybe if I've caught 1,000,000 of them, maybe I wouldn't. But right now, while I've caught still so few of them, and they're still kind of a novelty thing for me. Right now, if you gave me the choice, I would choose buffalo. 10 out of 10 times. And we've had a pretty good day for them today. Don't know what's special about today versus any other day. I mean, there's been other times you just catch carp, you don't catch buffalo, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't pretend to be no expert. Tighten that line back up. Everybody's shooting out here. Y'all duck and cover. Bambi's been on the run. We've seen Bambi a couple times now, so we may be having to dodge some bullets. It's that time of year. I'm seeing a bunch of deer on the road right now too. Bambi's been wrecking cars. I've talked about the deer problem in the past. We got a big deer problem in East Tennessee, man, especially my area. I've hit 2 deer. I went my whole life without hitting deer, and I've hit 2 in the last 2 years. Totaled my car 2 years ago. This year I just broke the grill. I think the deer more so ran into me than me running into it. But they're just all over, man. They're just in residential areas. So everything's getting built up. And so they're running out of places that they can do normal deer things. And hunters can't really hunt for them that much anymore because they're losing all their hunting land. As these farms get sold and turned into subdivisions and apartment complexes. And God help us in my town. We had the election there, and the mayor, we've had the same mayor it'd been 14 years we'd had him. And I was just hoping with everything in me he was going to get voted out this time, but he didn't. He won again, so he's the biggest real estate developer in town. And people keep electing him as mayor. I can't even vote because I'm technically in the county, and it's the city mayor. So I can't vote in the city elections. And the guy that ran against him, he ain't worth a damn. He ran the worst campaign I've ever seen. I still don't even know who he is. So he had no chance of winning, but it was frustrating. So now we're guaranteed even more subdivisions, more apartment complexes, more townhomes. And so them deer, when these subdivisions come in, the construction crews come in to build the $1 million mansions in these subdivisions, they ain't killing off the deer. They're just pushing them out. So they get more pushed into subdivision or residential areas, more into the roads, and can't do nothing about it. You know, people can't hunt for them because all the land's gone. So it's a problem. It's a big problem. But as long as our mayor is still in office, it's just going to keep, because he's just got one real estate deal after another. I don't know how he even has time to be mayor with all the real estate deals he does. And same thing, the city council too, they're all his cronies. It's a big circle jerk in there. They all work in the real estate deals. Now we did get a new city council member. There was 3 of them. There's 6 of them on the city council. 3 of them was up for re-election this time. 2 of them made it back. 1 of them got voted out. They put in somebody else who I don't know. I don't know anything about that person. Hopefully it don't matter. It don't matter because there's only 1 of them. So now, instead of when the mayor wants one of his real estate deals to go through and he needs some zoning regulations changed, instead of the vote being 6-0 in his favor, at best now it'll be 5-1 and it'll still pass. So it don't matter. We're just going to be, everybody's going to be next door neighbors in town. Ain't nobody going to have a yard no more. Ain't gonna be no more farms. It's gonna be one subdivision stacked next to one subdivision stacked next to a apartment complex. So something hit our live bait over there, or he started to run from something. Maybe he just got lively for a second. It's good to know he's still alive on there though. Old bluegill, our perch didn't do nothing for us, but the bluegill, I thought he might swim around out there and conjure something up. I'm seeing more shad activity back here now. Could be because the wind is dying down and you can actually see the water surface a little better. They could have been back here all along, or it could just be because the sun's out and it's starting to heat things up a little bit, and maybe that's helping the cause too, getting some more bait back here, which may bring in some other fish. I don't know. Good thing is, though, we ain't had no bass fishermen back here on top of us. That one guy, he come back part of the way in the creek and turned. I definitely want to be out of here before the bass tournament gets back, because I ain't never seen that many trailers in the parking lot at this particular launch. So, heaven forbid I get back. Of course, I'm sure that tournament, it'll probably run 2 or 3 o'clock probably. I'll be gone long before then. But heaven forbid you get behind them while they're loading up. You're going to be there all day waiting. And in this kayak here, I got to use a ramp because it's so damn heavy. Now that Hobie Lynx, hell, I'd pull it up on the bank, put it on its side, pop the wheels in, gone. But these big heavy, this kayak here, the kayak I'm getting, if I ain't got a boat ramp, I ain't using it. Just too heavy. The new trailer will make it easier, especially as far as low water ramps or real shallow grade ramps. It's going to make it a lot, because it's longer. It sets lower at least the kayak part will set lower to the ground. And so that'll be a big help with that. Plus it's got that ramp. It's got a where you can step up and then walk down each side beside the kayak, so I won't have to get my feet wet. I'm really looking forward to getting that trailer. I've been looking forward to it for months now. I'm glad we're finally in the home stretch with it. It should be completely done. He sent me the picture. Let me see if I can pull up. Y'all might care about this here. Let me see. See if I can do this without share. I don't want to give out his phone number. He texted me. Can I do it without? Yeah, let me do this. Let me save the photo, and then I'll pull it up in my photo, and I won't have to worry about accidentally sharing his personal cell phone number out to thousands of people. Okay, so here's the, we got a fish right here. He was splashing around every which way. Did you see him splashing like that? He was thrashing around on the surface right there going crazy. I didn't even know we had one on. I'm dilly-dallying on my phone. I don't know what this is. It looked silver, but it could have been a buffalo. It could have been a cat. This will be another surprise when we get him up here and get a better look at him. That's a fun thing right there, folks, when you're in. You got baits in about 2 foot of water. They start thrashing around. They're doing it on the surface. There's nowhere for them to go. I gotta try to keep him under this other line. I think we might have another one on right here. We do. We're doubled. We're doubled, folks. Let's get this one up here and get him close, and we'll pick up on the other one. I want to get a look at this thing, see what he is. Oh, it's another buffalo. That's another one. All right, let's set him down. Let's pick up his friend. Now can we get both of these up here without getting them all tangled all over each other? This one's gonna run now. This one here is gonna fight a little bit. How about that for a series of events? Maybe there's some more moving in. Maybe the afternoon is the time to do this. This time of year, I don't know. It was comfortable enough this morning. I thought I'll go ahead and get on out here around dawn. But the bites definitely picked up as the morning has went on. We're gonna have these two fish wrapped around each other. We're gonna have to land one of them quick when we get it up here. I wanna see what this one is though. Is it a buffalo or is it a carp? Still ain't got a look at him. I still can't tell. Where's that other one at over there? We gotta keep these things separated. No, it's the carp right here. We doubled up with a carp and a buffalo. Let's go ahead and land the carp since we got him in the hand. Come here, carp. I don't want you all two getting tangled up. There we go. Yes. I don't know where you carp have been. You the only second carp we've seen today. Nice though, man. Got a double finally. Oops. There we go. I tell you what, carp. I'm not going to give you front camera time though, carp. Oh, you got your fin in the net. There we go. I'm gonna hold you out like this though, carp, because we gotta get that other one landed and get some baits out. He's an average size right there, probably, I don't know, 5 to 7 pound range probably. We'll see you, buddy. Got that one down. Let's go ahead and get this one and we'll just rebait both of them at the same time and send them out. This is the one I'm more excited about right here. You can see though, the carp was the better fight. easily the better fight of the two, but something about the buffalo, they're just really cool fish. This is a little butterball right here. He's not very long, but he's plump. Tell this fish right here, tell him, it ain't cool being a jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving. Famous line from that movie Trading Places. Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, holiday classic. Nice, buddy. You're another one, buffalo. I'm gonna just hold you out because I want to get some more baits out while we got all these fish working through. That's a solid fish right there, man. They've got a cool color, that bluish green and the gold up top. We'll see you, buddy. Get on then. Here you go. Nice, y'all. Hey, how about that for a double, buddy? Got us a double. I was piddling on my phone trying to show you a picture of a trailer without sending out a personal cell phone number of a dude, and next thing I know, I got 2 rods going down. All right. Well, let's me and you see if we can't do it again. Business has picked up. As Jim Ross would say, back on the good old days of wrestling. Yeah, I told you folks, we're going to end up having us a day out here where we're going to look back on it, and that was the first double. But we're going to end the day, and we're going to have caught several fish. We're going to end up with a variety. Carp, buffalo, unfortunately the channel cats. Got a bluegill. We really need to get us a turtle. This sun coming out and warming things up, there'll be some turtles out here before long. I don't want to hurt a turtle. But for the sake of just catching everything today, we need to get one. All right, let's send that one back out. Now, let's get our rig with the pink corn, get it going back. I tell you, man, this is fun, folks. I said, like I've told you before, I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to carp and buffalo. I just go fishing. I'm sure I can sit here and speculate and think why fish are where they are or how they're going to move and whatnot. I can speculate, guesstimate. We could come up with logical theories on it. But at the end of the day, I really don't know. But what I do know is this panko mixture that I found this recipe on the Catfish and Carp YouTube channel a long time ago, and it works, man. The corn, the panko, strawberry jello, pack you on a worm there on the hook, and buddy, if there's fish there, you're going to catch them. I don't know why they're there or when they're going to be there, but if they are, you're going to catch them. And I like the fact that I don't really have to think about that part of it. I can just go out, throw baits out, and just kick back and relax and wait. That's fun. Okay. Back in it. Got all our lines back out. Put our worm cup back up. Zip this. We're running low on pack bait. I probably won't fish much longer anyway, probably, but still, we're getting our money's worth out of that batch, ain't we? Make sure, yeah, y'all good there on the lens. Everything's good. Yeah, I'll probably give it another 30 minutes to an hour here, probably. See what else we can get now that we got some more working through. Oh, I was going to show you the trailer. Let's see. Okay, here it is. I hope y'all can see this, the glare, and I don't know what you can and can't see. This is it before it was painted. He sent me a picture here. But you see how you've got this metal grate floor, and you see how it goes down the side. So the kayak will sit here, and you can walk back. So I can step up on this and walk back down the side. So when I'm in a low water situation, a shallow ramp, or sometimes there's some of these ramps that go off where like I've had to get basically a kind of right to the top of my boots to get down there to be able to shove the kayak off before. I won't have to worry about that anymore. I'll just be able to step up there and walk back. Now there will be a box here. One of the things this guy builds with the trailer is a box that's wired, so you can charge stuff. You can put a battery in there, charge stuff. You can store stuff. It'll be there for part of it, but I'll be able to step up around it, hopefully. And if I can't, I'll take it off. But it was included in the price, so I said, sure, I'll take it and, you know, see if I can use it or not. But yeah, that's it before it's painted. And it should be painted by now and fully assembled, so I'm excited to get it. I think it's going to be a big help this time. I was hoping to already have it, you know, but with me only basically going to be able to fish here at home next week before I leave to go to Florida, I shouldn't have to deal too much with the falling water before I get the trailer. That was my big thing. I wanted it for sure before we had our water drop here in East Tennessee. That's what I wanted to have it before we got into this time, because this is where I really struggle as far as getting the kayak off the trailer sometimes with some of these ramps. When the water drops, like I have to wade out there. And every year it happens, I'll step out just a little too far trying to shove the kayak off, and I'll get water down in my boot. And you know how that goes. It sucks when it's cold, and you get, especially if it happens. It's not as big a deal if it happens when you're loading up at the end of the day, but when you're just first going out and you get water down in your boot, that sucks. So I'm hoping to avoid that. And plus too, we're already getting hit right here. There, oh, did he, has he still got it? He pulled on it and acted like he got off. Let's see. Oh, he's got it, buddy. He still got it. He just jerked it and come right at us. We got another one right here. Nice, buddy. We got some fish working through right now. They are working through right now. I don't know what this is yet. I'm guessing a carp, but we won't know. We've had the buffalo fight like carp too today. He's right over there on top of that other line. I don't care which way you go, fish, but go one way or the other. Get away from that line before you get in it. He says he'll do whatever the hell he wants. He is right there over that other line. He's going to get in it. I know he is. I know he's going to. Why would you turn, fish? Swim right or swim left. It matters not to me. Just go, pick a direction and go. There he goes. Good. He didn't get in it. He was right over the top of it, never got in it. Let's get him up here and see what he is. Oh, big old carp. Big old carp right there. Oh, bugle mouth bass. Yes, sir. Nice. Let me get the net here since y'all ain't gonna net him for me. One of these years I'm gonna get y'all trained to net me some fish. Go back out that way, fish. There you go. Now turn and come in the net this way. This fish don't cooperate at all. Nope, he went under the net. Now he's up there in my motor. Come over here this way, fish. back over here. There you go. Boy, he's fired up, buddy. He ain't. He said he's rested up all day for this fight. He's been training all morning for this one. There you go. You whoop now, fish. I done got you whooped now. That's a big one. That's a big one right there, buddy. Good news, Carp. You're gonna get some front camera time. You've earned it. You've earned it from the fight and from the efforts you've done eating to get yourself that big. Let me get the hook out of you. Let's see which way it goes. Up. Can't see which way the hook's turned. I can't see fish. There we go. All right, y'all, man, this thing's it's got some weight on him. Yeah, look at that fat on him right there. Ain't it funny? We celebrate fat fish, but fat people, not so much. All right, time to calm down. I'm gonna hold you up, make you famous, fish. I'm gonna make you famous if you just calm down and relax. Okay, y'all. Nice, buddy. Something got my worm. Something tried to eat my worm right here with that line dangling in the water right there. Must have been a bluegill or something. Trying to steal your thunder, wasn't it, fish? All right, going out of here. I think something just had that worm. He took off with it. I'll be damned. Nice, that was a nice carp. Okay. Well, let's put that back. Let me get y'all back up here. And let's put, yeah, he got part of our worm. He stole, no, he got half of it. He was tugging on it, buddy. Whatever had it, must have been a little bluegill. Well, I tell you, they'll rob you blind. Just had that thing dangling in the water. They over here trying to rob us blind, man. We'll throw out some more. We have got some fish working through right now. I don't know where they've been all morning, but they're here now. It wasn't like we wasn't getting bit. I mean, we were catching some fish. We just, for whatever reason, we're catching a lot more fish now. Get some more of these fat, juicy worms. They like the fat, juicy worms, even though they ain't fat and juicy. Fat fish like fat worms. These non-refrigerated worms. I don't know what's special about them that they don't need refrigeration and the other ones do, but it is what it is. I threw half that pack bait off. That's all right. We'll roll with it. Half of it was still on there. Here I have made a mess in this kayak. I just got this thing cleaned up. I've already made a mess in it. I'm about to clean it again before I sell it. Whew. A little bit tired after all that, y'all. I ain't winded today like I have been, though. That's a good sign. I feel like I'm getting better over my illness. I was worried I might have had COVID or something, but I may have. I don't know. I didn't get checked. I'd been sick for so many days, like what the hell is the point going and getting tests? They just gonna tell you rest and fluids, so why bother? I can do that without getting a test and a $40 copay and infecting everybody in the waiting room. I already had to take the cat to the vet while I was sick. I didn't like doing that. But I do feel significantly better today. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, when I get home today, I gotta try to get hold of that cat. get that pain medicine in. I'm sure it's got to be uncomfortable. I mean, my gosh, it just got its balls cut off. It has to be uncomfortable. The vet can say it's a simple surgery, but that's easy to say when it ain't your cojones getting cut. So it's got to be uncomfortable. I hope this litter robot thing I've got for him works out. It's expensive, but I hate cleaning litter box. That's the worst thing about having a cat is a litter box. That, and then the hair, and the jumping up on kitchen counters and stuff. Although Martin Luther Kitty, he can't jump high enough to get up on the counter. I don't know if just because he's been so weak, because of his size, or he just can't get up there. I don't know. Now, Midnight can jump up there. Midnight could damn near hit the ceiling. But I think Midnight's a little younger than... They estimated Martin Luther Kitty was somewhere between 2 and 5 years old, so probably closer to 5 than to 2. Well, I'm pretty sure Midnight is probably closer to kitten than adult. So it's still wild and got a bunch of energy. And just mean as all get out. I'm hoping that litter robot, I'm hoping that they'll actually use the damn thing. It's got to return, 90-day return if they don't, but they claim they will. But if I could cut down me having to, I wouldn't have to scoop litter at all and only do it once every few days, that would be a big help. That would totally be worth it. It's expensive as all get out, but totally be worth it if you could take away that chore. The air purifier, 100% worth it. I'd recommend everybody get an air purifier. Whether you got pets, you smoke, it don't matter. I mean, it's going to, even like the cooking smells, if you cook in your house, it'll get rid of that. We got Shad getting chased right over here in front of us. And I guarantee you, them air purifiers, and I paid, I think it was $99.99, but it was on sale for $79.99 when I got it. But I guarantee you, here on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, them things will probably be heavily discounted. Now, I had to go ahead and pay a little more than to go ahead and get it now to, you know, appease the girlfriend at home there. I'm trying to be an advocate for the cats and keep her as happy as possible. So if I got to pay a little bit more money, go ahead and get that thing now. Make sure the house smells good when the girlfriend comes over. It's worth it. But you better believe my cheap ass would have liked to have waited a little bit longer and get the best deal on Black Friday. Speaking of Black Friday, folks, y'all know I get my gear Catfish Sumo. These rods I'm using for carp fishing today, Catfish Sumo original chopstick. My catfish rod, that's my custom rod, signature series rod, the Golly Whopper, also made by Catfish Sumo. At the time of me filming this video again here, what's the day I'm filming this? November 9th. I don't know what sales Catfish Sumo is going to have for the holidays. But I'll go ahead and tell you with certainty they will have sales. They always do. Black Friday is one of the biggest sales of the year. So if you're looking to score you some carp rods here, and again, these are catfish rods, but they're a light action rod with a soft tip. Great for casting pack bait. I think they're great for carp fishing. But if you're looking to score some, keep an eye out on Catfish Sumo during the holidays. Same thing with my Golly Whopper rods. They'll be marked down too. I don't know how much yet, but they'll be marked down, along with all the other gear on Catfish Sumo's site. So, might be a good time too. You're looking for a holiday gift, bust you out a Kayak Catfish hat there and somebody's stocking, Christmas stocking there. Can't go wrong with that. Guaranteed to help you catch more fish. Those statements not been approved by the FDA. But anyway, yeah, so keep an eye out, catfishsumo.com, if you need any fishing gear this holiday season. By the time this video comes out, the sale's probably already been announced to at least know what's going to be on sale. I don't have that information yet. Old Daniel better get with it if he wants me to tell anybody about a sale, because I think this video will probably come out, well, it should come out the week before Thanksgiving sometime. So we're running out of time for Daniel to tell me the sales if he wants me to tell y'all. And I should do a better job of telling y'all stuff. I'm a terrible salesperson. I'm awful. I'm just not a good salesman. I don't think about it. I like using what I like using. And I feel like me filming myself, using the gear I use and having a good experience with it ought to be salesman enough without me having to actually sell, you know, without me talking about something. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't give a damn what you use. You know, what brand of gear, what type of hooks, what type of rods, what kind of kayak you use. It doesn't affect me one iota. You know, I think some people get all, they take their brand deals and stuff way too personally. I don't, because it don't affect me. If you choose to use another brand of rod, I'm going to catch the fish I'm going to catch regardless. And so I'm not a good salesman. I need to be better. I need to plug Daniel more. Daniel's done a lot for me. Catfish Sumo, I mean, my rod here, my catfish rod's the best catfish rod I ever used for me and how I fish, kayak fishing. Having the adjustable butt, being able to use it very short when I'm in the kayak, or having the bank extension when I'm fishing off the bank, that's big for me. That's a huge help. I need to do a better job of promoting them things. We sell a bunch of them, but we'd probably sell a lot more if I actively did salesman stuff. I just don't like being a salesman, and I don't like people who are. And the fishing world is full of it. No, literally full. When I say the fishing world's full of it, I mean people are literally full of it. Full of you know what. But every video you click on, you scroll through Instagram, TikTok, man, it's these pro staff people. And they're just trying to shove products down your throat. This rod's the best one ever. This hook's the best one ever. You know, I just don't want to be that. I don't like those people. I don't want to be one of those people. I just want to go fishing. And honestly, I feel like, just for me personally, nobody's going to sell me anything. Them pro staff people, they can't sell me nothing. Now, maybe it's because I'm more jaded, but I'm not going to be sold something in the fishing industry. If it's somebody I respect in the fishing world, and I see them going out and catching fish and having a good experience with a piece of gear, then that's what's going to get me to potentially consider it or buy it or at least research it, whatever. But just some talking head on the YouTube or TikTok telling me, oh, this is the greatest rod ever, it glows in the dark, use this promo code, blah, 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 or whatever the sales pitch of the day is, you know, that's not going to do anything for me. I'm not buying anything because of that. So I don't want to be one of them people. But I know that at the same time I say that, I know that stuff works, or else they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't be Billy Mays ShamWow salesman if they weren't getting sales from it. So it works. It's good for them, I guess, in what they do, but it just ain't me. And when you're going to do YouTube or TikTok, whatever it is you do social media wise, you got to be yourself. If I tried being a salesman, a ShamWow, Billy Mays salesman, y'all would see right through it as being fake, because it would be fake, because it ain't me. All I can be is me, for better or worse. And some people like it and some people don't, but You come fishing with me on these videos, what you see is what you get. It ain't a damn bit different outside of this is what you see on the video. That's one thing about doing these unedited videos, folks. You can't hide yourself. You might can do it for a day or two, but how many of these unedited videos have I done this year? Hell, I don't even know at this point. A lot. You can't hide yourself when you're going raw and uncut as many times as I have, as long as I have. You can't hide it. You are what you are. And so you do edited videos, doing little talking clips, throw in a fish being caught, more talking clips. Like a person can hide in that situation. But me, look, I fully admit, like, I'm an antisocial asshole. That's how I am. That's how I am in real life. And that's what you see on these videos, because there ain't no hiding it. You just are what you are. This fish is what he is. He's about to get caught. It's what he is. Something just tugged on this line. Something's got it right here. I see my line. Let's get us another one here, folks. You want to? Nope, let's not, because I set the hook on air. I saw my line jump twice. I thought he had it. I should have picked up on it and see if I felt weight. Well, we need to reel it in anyway, because there ain't no worm on there. He got a worm. There you go. I wonder if that wasn't a bluegill potentially. The old bluegill. Well, all we can do, folks, is bait another worm on there and try it again. It does seem like the bite's slowed down a little bit now, though, ain't it? We had a flurry of activity there. I guess some fish worked through. You just want these fat. There does seem to be a lot of worms in this tub. I didn't look to see how many it was supposed to come with, but it does seem like we've had a lot of worms today. I'm gonna look on this tub in a minute here and see what it says. I'm curious. These things may end up being a better value if you get more worms. Worms for anglers. Wangler's live natural fat juicy red worms. The worm that works. No refrigeration needed, 30 per cup. Well, enriched with nutrients for a long life. I wonder why these don't need refrigeration and the other ones do. Euro red worm, maybe that's why. They're from Europe. 38 to 74 degrees looks like, so they'd still die in the summer heat. Just like the other one. First time I ever used these though. We've got results with them, although they've been a little bit smaller than the other ones I've gotten. I ain't trying to plug them. I ain't got no deal with them. I paid full price for them things at the store. They just didn't. Well, I went to the refrigerator to get the other kind of red worms that we'd been getting before. They didn't have any. They was out. And I saw them sitting on top of the refrigerator, so I grabbed a couple of tubs of them. I ain't trying to sell you no fishing poles. I ain't trying to sell you no worms either, folks. I was trying to sell you an air purifier yesterday because I'm become a believer in them. I'm telling you, man, my house smells amazing. You can't even tell I have pets in there right now. It's great. So get you an air purifier this holiday season. I did remember last night when I uploaded the video, I did remember to put the link in there in that last video. I might get me $3 or $4 in commissions on that. I should be a better salesman though. I should do a better job of plugging links and my discount. I do have a discount code Catfish Sumo. It's the word kayak. That gets you 10%, but it probably won't work with the holiday sales, and you'd be better off using the holiday stuff to, to order with. I don't get no commissions on them holiday codes, but you'll be better off. You'll save more money if you use whatever holiday sale code. So save yourself some money, folks. Don't worry about getting me no commission code or nothing. Save $1 or $2, or more than that. The last couple years, these rods have been marked down significantly. Both of these two rods, the Catfish rod and the chopstick here. So it's a good time. If you're looking to get new gear, the Black Friday sale is a good time to do it. The other good sale to hit up with Catfish Sumo is the conference sale in February. When the Catfish conference goes on, Catfish Sumo runs a website sale, and that's another good time to get stuff. Those are usually the two best times to get a deal. Just FYI for future purposes, if you're looking to score some discounted fishing tackle. Catfish, I'm gonna tease you with this, but I can't tell you about it because they're working on the patent right now. But they are coming out with a new product, and they've took an existing product and made it significantly better. And I think a lot of people are going to be real happy with what they've done. I don't know when that's coming out because the product is ready. It is done. It is in the warehouse. It is ready to ship. But in the fishing world, if you come out with anything, it gets ripped off instantly. So Catfish Sumo has been going through the patent process on this so that you can protect what's yours. And anybody that's ever went through the government processes, patents, trademarks, any of that stuff, you know how long it takes. I mean, hell, for me to... Boy, some animals going crazy over here. When I went through the trademark process for my logo and my name, the Kayak Catfish logo and Kayak Catfish name, boy, it took forever. I think it was almost 2 years from the time I filed to the time I finally got approved. So, I mean, it's dealing with the government. It just takes forever on everything. You wait, you file your application, it takes forever for somebody to review it. Then they're going to hit you back and need more clarification, blah, 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 blah. You submit those documents, then you wait again, and it just takes forever, costs a ton. I mean, to get something trademarked, man, between the trademark fees and the legal fees I had to pay the lawyer to do it, like, golly, bum, I was a couple $1,000s in. It was ridiculous. But you got to do it. I mean, you got to, because people steal from you all the time. You got to be able to protect what's yours. I've had my logo stolen a bunch, and it's helpful to have that trademark to get stuff pulled down if need be. And if you did ever have to, have a dispute, a conflict with somebody, a legal conflict, at least having that trademark, boy, it matters a lot to prove you own what you own. Any original work is protected by copyright, but it's hard to prove that you are the original creator. When you own the trademark, basically the United States government, some suit in an office somewhere has stamped it that this is yours. You own it. And there's no dispute in that. I mean, there is a dispute process when you're going through the application. Like they post it publicly for anybody to dispute, make a claim on it. But once you get through that process with the government and they put their stamp of approval, the trademark on it, like it's documented, it's yours. So it's a painstakingly long process. Almost 2 years it took for both the word mark and the logo trademark. And the same thing with like the patent stuff. When a fishing company comes out with something that has to be patented, jump through the same hoops. But if you don't, man, there'll be a knockoff next week. So, but anyway, I've teased you with it. But something, I can't say a lot, but I'll just say they've taken a product that exists. They have made it significantly better. And it is ready to go in warehouse, ready to go, just waiting on trademark. Or I mean the patent, excuse me. It's turned into a right nice day out here. It was chilly this morning, and even now with the wind still blowing, it's warmed up enough. It's comfortable. I can sit out here in a hoodie and be comfortable. This is a good day. And I feel good. I feel good today. I'm not as winded. I feel good. I don't feel as run down. Yesterday I was feeling better, but I was still winded. Even out there on the water, just talking to y'all and just stuff, like I was just still getting winded easily. I haven't worked out yet today. I got up and come out here, so I'll do my workout this afternoon. We'll see how winded I get during it when I'm doing physical exertion. But just yesterday even, man, just talking, I just felt short of breath, like I was having to take deep breaths. And today I feel like I've been able to talk much more easily. I'm still a little bit nasally, but that's getting better too. I hope I'm about over this. I was worried if I did have COVID, I was worried it might linger around, and it wasn't going to interfere with me going to the Keys. I'm going. But I want to be feeling good, fully healthy. But there's more deer running over there. I've seen it. There's another one. That one looked like it was black almost. Maybe it was just the shadow of the way it was running. It looked like it was damn near black. Huh. But yeah, when I go to the Keys, I want to be feeling good. I think it's my favorite place on earth. And somebody might say, well, Justin, why don't you move there? Well, out of my budget. And if I live there, hell, I may not appreciate it. You get adapted to it, get used to it. It's better probably to visit. I'd like to visit more. Better to just visit, though. I'll tighten up this line a little bit right here. Knock a little slack in it. We still got a little slack in it, don't it? Something messing with that rod over there while y'all wasn't paying attention? Y'all supposed to be watching them things now, keeping an eye on them. Yeah, it seems like our bite, we had a flurry of activity there. I guess we had some fish work through. And now it's kind of petered out. We never could get that bluegill eat, could we? Or the perch. You know what I need to do before I forget? Because I'll forget about it and I'll leave this thing down in there and it'll be stinking to high heaven. I just had some frozen water bottles down in there for ice. I'll throw that out. Yeah, it's all of it. I just brought this little cooler today because I had taken my big Yeti off this cooler. I normally keep it strapped down on here. And I'd taken it out when I cleaned the kayak, and so I just kept that one perch yesterday. I'm like, well, hell, I don't need to put the big cooler back in for that. I'll just take this little cooler with me. We ain't got this thing too dirty today. It's not too bad. It'll be easily cleaned. Hopefully one of y'all will buy this thing this winter. I don't want to be... I know I can sell it in the spring and get more money for it in the spring, but I need the carport space, especially when I get that trailer delivered. I'm just out of room, man. I've currently got 3 kayaks, 2 trailers, and my mower on the carport. I'm out of space. Pick up that Bonafide tomorrow. That'll be 4 kayaks on the carport. There is a situation, though. I mean, obviously, I'll be getting rid of this one. So that'll be one gone. If I ever get the links set up to where I can catfish out of it, there's a chance I could sell my Old Town. Maybe. I like the Old Town. I like it. It's my favorite kayak. Of any of them I've ever been in, it's my favorite. But I do like this Lynx a lot. And if I can get to where I could catfish out of this Lynx, and if it's as much fun to catch fish in the Lynx as what I think it's going to be, there may be a situation where I end up selling the Old Town too. We'll see. I got to figure out the rod holder situation. I want to take it down there to Florida and catch some big fish in it. See how that is, see how that goes. I need to pedal the Hobie pedaling motion some more, make sure I'm not going to get sciatica again. My body hates that pedaling motion, but here's the thing. I'm in way better physical condition now, especially when it comes to like my core strength and stuff. I'm way better now than what I was back when I had the issues with the Hobie pedal drive. And thus far, fishing out of the Lynx, now granted, I have fished, 4 times now in it? 5 times now? And I've not went far. However many times I've been in it, I've not gone far. I've not made long runs. But I felt fine getting out of it. Like I haven't had any pain. So that's encouraging. But we'll see. The Florida trip will be the real test because I will be making long runs. And since that motor I got for it ain't going to work out, it's going to be all on me to pedal to get where I'm going. And so that'll be the real test of how I feel after the Florida trip. But there is a situation where if that goes well, and I'm able to pedal the long distances and not be in any pain afterwards, and I figure out a way to mount a couple rod holders on there to be able to catfish in and figure out a way to be able to anchor myself, there's a situation where maybe I keep that kayak as my fun fishing platform and possibly sell the Old Town. We'll see. Like I said, I do like the Old Town a lot. It is my favorite of all of them that I've been in. And so I'm really going to have to really like this Lynx a lot to want to get rid. Oh, but here, look right here. This middle rod right here is getting something tighten that line up. I think something picked up that line for a minute, but it's gone now, it seems like. Just a tease. It's like, just like FedEx sending me an email with an expected delivery date. Just a tease, because you know damn well it ain't showing up for a couple extra days. I wonder if FedEx is that bad nationwide or if it's just my area. Oh, here we go. This one's hooked up. This one's hooked up. Oh, he was. He just come off. He just come off. He didn't get a worm though, did he? He left the worm on. He's like, heck with this. You can keep that damn worm. I ain't gonna fight you for it. That's what he said. I don't know what it was. Throw another one out there for a few minutes. I ain't gonna fish much longer unless the bite really picks up. If the bite really picks up here, you can talk me into staying a little longer, but I'm gonna get out of here soon, get me some lunch, try to get hold of that cat at the house and get some pain medicine in it. Where are we at on time? Okay, yeah, our battery's about dead anyway. I guess when the battery dies here in a few minutes, I'll just probably call it a day. We've had our fun this morning. We got us a bunch of buffalo, some carp, unfortunately some channel cats. It's been a productive day. It seems like I swear, I mean, everybody told me, Justin, you got to use soybean meal. You'll catch more buffalo. But ever since I went back to using the panko, I started catching buffalo again. I didn't catch a single one on the soybean meal pack bait. I've still got some soybean meal too. I need to maybe work it in, I guess. But I've got a ton of confidence in this bait. It's easily obtainable in any grocery store. It's cheap. And every time I go out with it, I'm catching something. So that's probably what I'm gonna stick with. I don't see a great need to experiment. I mean, if I was a hardcore carp fisherman and knew what the hell I was doing, maybe I could dial in certain types of baits at certain times of year or something, but I'm not that. There's some shad busting right there. I'm not that, I guess I'm not that dedicated or not that interested in taking it to that level. I just want to come out a day like today, anchor us down here in a backwater creek, hopefully have the place to ourselves, which we pretty much have today, and catch some fish if they're back here. And I can do that with this bait. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. We might add some different fruits and vegetables and stuff, mix it up. Well, this year we've added the worm on the hook just about almost every carp trip, and that's been a big help. But beyond that, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to stick with what works. The shad activity's definitely picked up back here. This water must be heating up. Seemed like all them fish come in at once though earlier. They moved out apparently. Now we just sitting here picking our noses. I don't know how I'm gonna get this medicine in this cat, y'all. I mean, it comes in a little syringe, you squirt it in its mouth. But if you can't get hold of the damn cat, how are you gonna squirt it in its mouth? I could fix a steak when I get home and squirt it on a piece of meat because it loves steak. Maybe that might be the play. That would probably be the better thing. If I can't get hold of it, that's what I'll do. Because I guarantee you it'll eat that steak. It won't turn down the steak. Nobody turns down steak. Nobody. And I do enjoy me a good steak. I'll tell you this, man. Going over that South Carolina trip, of course, I had to eat out every day. It's just so much cheaper to cook a steak yourself at home than what it is to go get a fast food meal. And way better. I mean, I don't know why anybody eats fast food anymore. I had to traveling. Of course, I can't cook a steak over there in a hotel, but beyond that, I don't know why anybody would eat fast food. It's awful. It tastes awful. It's super expensive. When you can cook a steak have a steak, vegetables, all that for half the price of an extra value meal. I don't know why anybody want fast food anymore. Got a leaf blower man over here in case y'all can't hear him. He's over here at one of these houses behind it. It's that time of year. He's over in that yard somewhere. I don't know if y'all can hear him though. A lot of the leaves have come down over here. I mean, there's cedar trees and whatnot. They're of course green all year, but a lot of these trees here, they've already lost their leaves. I need to do my yard, but probably ain't a good idea right now for me to be doing them leaves and kicking up all that dust and everything with me getting over this head stuff right now. Them leaves will be there when I get home from Florida. Well, folks, my battery's in the red, so I ain't got much longer to go. I guess I'll probably go ahead and wrap up this video, and I think I'm gonna reel up and go and get on out of here too. It's been a fun morning though. I appreciate y'all coming with me. Got a bunch of buffalo, a couple carp, some channel cats. Been a, I wouldn't say it's an action-packed morning, but I mean, we got several fish over the course of the day, so it's a good trip as far as I'm concerned. So I think, you know, tomorrow, of course, I'm gonna go buy the new kayak. Probably won't get to fish there on Monday if the weather report stays how it is. And I'll probably be dog-ass tired too after driving that far up and back to get the kayak tomorrow. But Tuesday, I'll probably try to get out, try to scrounge us up some bait, and we'll get back after the cats next week and hopefully get in a few catfish trips before I go to Florida. So hopefully the next video you see will be another catfish trip. I've been in the mood to ultralight fish, so I may do some more of that too. I may go ultralight fishing and try to get bait at the same time maybe. So that might be the next video before but either way, we're gonna try to get in some catfish trips before I go to the Florida vacation, and definitely gonna film a little bit down there in Florida for sure. I'm gonna treat it more like a vacation, get some me time, but I'll be filming some while I'm down there, rest assured on that. But anyway, y'all, thanks for coming with me today. I wish we could have got us another one here. If we sat out here a while longer, we'd probably get one, but I'm gonna go home and try to get some medicine down Martin Luther Kitty and enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Thankfully, I'm feeling a little better today. Feels good to feel good, folks. You don't know how important good health is until you don't have it. That's the thing, we all take it for granted until we don't have it. So anyway, I'm feeling much better today, but I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see y'all next time. Boy, look at them. Something's being chasing right there, them shad. Them bass fishermen, I don't know where the hell they at. They ought to be back here right now. There's probably some bass working them shad. Anyway, y'all, enough of it. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you next time.